Walls too close, the world too wide. A ghost unseen, passing time. She wore her fears like second skin. Spoke to shadows, breathed them in. Dreamed of voices calling home. Somewhere she was not alone. In a quiet room, a flickering light. 1,000 thoughts, but no reply. Walls too close, the world too wide. A ghost unseen, passing time. She wore her fears like second skin. Spoke to shadows, breathed them in. Dreamed of voices calling home. Somewhere she was not alone. She crossed the line from dark to seen. A spark against the dark inside. From the silence, a signal rose through the static. 1,000 souls, we are the lost, the strange, the seen. United by the screen between. Raise your voice, you're not alone in these pixels. We found a home from broken nights to blazing dawns. Together we carry Days turned years and coated skies. 10 winters passed before her eyes. Every stream a thread of trust, built from hope and honest dust. Names became more than a chat. Hearts behind each avatar shared their scars, their wins, their pain. Locked in just to feel okay. She learned that strength is letting show the cracks where hidden lights can glow. From the silence, a signal rose through the static. 1,000 souls, we are the lost, the strange, the seen. United by the screen between. Raise your voice, you're not alone in these pixels. We found a home from broken nights to blazing dawns. Together we carry on. To the outcasts, the quiet minds. To the ones who never fit the lines. You are more than what they said, more than voices in your head.
We are already slightly late, so let's get started.
Avoid every
Hey, Captain Shotgun. Let's get started. We started these episodes a while back, so we're now on episode 4. And we're going through the interviews that Lolcow Bus conducted to all these inner circle people around Pearadise. So let's get started.
To do OF.
And now that actually the docuseries is actually out already, it came out yesterday, we actually have a little bit of an insight as to what actually happened in the docuseries and what they're actually exposing. So this lady right here that's being interviewed at the bottom left is actually also in the docuseries, and she is one of those main inner circle people from Pearadise that dealt with Stefan and the girls on a regular basis. So she was one of those like people that would stay for a long period of time in the Pearadise house. So she technically should know a lot.
Content with her while they were staying in the house, if they were also a sex worker or needed money
Hello,
to get
Miguel.
by, right? Because like if they're paying for their own food, they needed some way to make money. And that's what I heard, is that that was being encouraged.
I mean, yeah, like any way he could encourage the girls to do these things and he would put it out as, you can make so much money, you could do this, and oh, the two of you together, like that would be really good. You should do that. And it was the same thing. And also, it just is that thing is there's a lot of people.
She's an interesting character because she was really close to Stefan, and at some point when she did no longer get the attention that she wanted, or she was no longer a main character in the house, or there was some kind of conflict between the two, or between her and the girls, that's when her attitude shifted, and now she is actually speaking up against Stefan, even though she does seem to at least try to be pretty transparent as to what happened, even if that's not choosing a side. So,
Unfortunately, that end up there who may not have a whole lot of financial resources. And so he's always like, easy money, you could do this, and you would make bank. And I know.
At Samantha Goodlad 1769 super chatted $19.99. What's your opinion on or who is playing victim and won't give a straight answer on her opinion on Stefan and acts like she wants nothing to do with this situation but is streaming live on TikTok while watching your stream?
I think that's for Foxy.
I actually think it's for Peachy saying, what's your opinion on Zio, who is playing victim and won't give a straight answer on her opinion?
Well, it says watching your stream. I think it's this stream, Bus. I think it's talking about our show.
Right.
So
we've already addressed Zio, but Peachy hasn't.
So Zio and I only know each other through like lives and stuff. I've never met Zio in person, and her and I've never had like an outside conversation other than in lives. So I can't jump into what her head is. But
we are getting soft tone chill. Yes, you are. I didn't see the documentary, but my guess is Stefan looked pretty bad. Yes. So we actually went through episode 1 and 2 yesterday. There are only 3 episodes, so there's one left that I haven't seen. But yeah, so we started yesterday. It did come out yesterday. It is very interesting. It's actually really well done. They do talk to a lot of people that obviously, at least so far, have not gone up on Lolcow Bus. So there's a lot of people defending either Stefan or defending Piggy. So people from both sides expressing themselves, but it does not look good for Stefan. It really doesn't. From my perspective, from the perspective of the docuseries, they are painting a pretty suspicious picture. Yeah, for sure.
The only thing I can say for myself and why maybe someone might be scared is something that was said earlier by a lot of us who are on the live, is that, you know, there's things that happen in that house that you feel like you are in a safe place to do at some certain times. And because there's a lot of cameras there, after you leave, you realize that there's possibly a lot of footage of you. And that can be very scary. And I can tell you right now that in the past few days, that's something that I am also very scared of, is that what can be used against me that I thought was private. And I don't know if that's a fear. I don't know if she's has other fears. Like, I don't want to speak too much for her, but I mean, I support her decision either way because everyone has their own story to tell when they're ready to tell it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm just so curious at this point, right? Because it seemed like they were in good standings, friends before this trailer dropped for this docuseries. And now since then, you know, she's not taking his calls. She's not texting him back. And like, this is all being said on live stream, right? Like, he's trying over and over and over and over again. And she's just ignoring him. And there's obviously a reason.
And what I know slightly about that is that there's a lot of people who filmed or participated in that documentary, or what they thought was a reality series, and thinking that this was a reality series that was just showing girls at the house having a great time. It was going to be what they thought was going to be like this really nice show of the plus size community and people who get along.
Mm-hmm. Spoiler, it wasn't. It was not. The docuseries is not presenting a Pearadise that is a safe space. It's not.
And, you know, they did a lot of what they thought were fun events. And
nice of ALR to show up. That's crazy.
They didn't really have an inkling that there was more to it. And then, you know, at the very end of the trailer, it says, like, when Stefan sits down and says, I'm here to tell my story, I feel like there's some people who didn't know that he was going to talk about all of that. And because I think they thought, oh, we're going to not talk about that and avoid all of that. And so I think there's a few people who felt lied to and maybe even tricked by it. But I will say that, like, some of the people that I talked to during the filming or before the filming, you know, I said, listen, guys, reality TV, docuseries, all of these, they can spin it and edit it however they want to. Yeah. So we'll just really be careful. And that, I mean, that's one of the many reasons why I chose, even though I was friendly with people in the house at the time, to not participate whatsoever. But, you know, like I said, like, I'm up here telling my side and I'm willing to answer these questions because I know that there's a lot of people either sign NDAs or they're scared and they're trying to set a boundary. And I hope that like everyone can try and respect that.
Yeah, I think it's smart we don't say who the names are of these people, because you're right. They could come in and tell anyone, "Oh, we're filming this very positively. You know, we love the big person community and so on." But if Stefan was like the final person they got a hold of, and they said, "Hey, so and so mentioned this moment where they were at the pool and did this. Do you have the security camera footage? Do you have this on you? Do you have that on you?" And it could just turn into something that's going to become this huge thing. So I do understand where Zio's coming from a little bit for not wanting to talk about it. I think she said on her stream recently that her NDA is out until June. So that may be one of the reasons why she's not having this conversation. I can't confirm. I can't say if that's true. But if that's the reason, I get it. I understand. I wouldn't want to fuck with that, especially if it's being done by.
Does that mean that all of a sudden all these NDAs are lifted since the episodes are out and they can actually talk now? That is going to be like a burst of content, right?
ID, the investigation, discovery, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big company. I'm not trying to fight them.
Yeah.
Well, I think she signed a NDA from Stefan too.
Very possible.
Possibly both. Yeah.
That would make more sense because a lot of people who are in the doc have come out and talked about it, but it's the people who've signed Stefan's NDA that aren't wanting to talk about it.
And like, before I came in, like I don't want to come all hardcore on you guys either, but I know that you're all joking and I don't get offended that easily, but we get so much hate. Like,
Exactly.
I don't think a lot of people understand how much hate in the big world we get for just purely existing. And so I know that you're just trying to like make light of the situation, but I do know that there are people who are like, I don't want to go up there and get harassed or hated on or being joked about during this like really sensitive subject. And like this is me reliving past and triggers and different things, and it's really hard for a lot of people. So I respect anyone's decision to not come up. And I know some people are like,
We also have to understand that for bigger women that are not accepted by society the same way, for them to come out and say that they have been harassed or sexually assaulted, it's harder because you feel like no one's gonna believe you, right? There's this idea that why would bigger women be harassed, right? So we have to keep that in mind as well. It's probably going to be a barrier for a lot of bigger girls to actually come out and say something because of that.
I want to wait and see what the documentary has to say before I come out and say what I need to say.
Right. And that's 100% fair. And that's why like I had just had enough, right? Because like this isn't a situation to be joked about. These are real women who have had like very traumatic things happen to them allegedly. And I just don't think that there's room for jokes at this point, right?
Yeah.
And it is extremely valid because like the internet is such a toxic place.
Watch Keemstar come up again and joke about the situation.
And to come up here and be put on the spotlight, it's just asking for it, right?
You're right. Yeah, online.
That.
Huh?
We don't need to add to that.
True. Online harassment can be a tough thing to swallow for some people and easier for others. It's a very heavy subject we're talking about here with all the, there's death involved. There's people being harassed continuously. There's family members of the deceased that are being called scammers. It's a very serious thing.
Again, guys, if you did not see the docuseries, we are going through it on the VC. Maybe later today we got to watch episode 3, but I'm not sure. But it's on HBO Max, so if anyone is interested, you can go and watch it yourself.
Yes. Extremely.
How do you feel about ALR wanting to go to Pearadise, by the way? Probably not good for her, you'd say?
I don't, honestly, in my opinion, I don't think it's good for anybody, period. Yeah. That's just my opinion. And I know a lot of people, like I said, well, weren't you just there? And that is valid for people to say that, but I want people to know also that I have been detaching for a very long time. I am in therapy of deprogramming my brain to get out. It took
deprogramming. She's in therapy for deprogramming.
Me a long time to detach from that, and then I kind of got sucked in because when you're there, you fall in love with a lot of these girls. Like you have the best friends that you've ever had in your entire life because they finally understand you in a way that you've never been understood. And then when you decide to leave that, sometimes you have to cut ties with people that you weren't ready to cut ties with. And then sometimes you get sucked back in, and it's really, really hard. And so I know my story, and I know that there's a lot of people who will doubt me, but at the end of the day, especially in these last few coming days, having conversations with a lot of people, it's really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I went through, and I'm willing to speak out, hopefully, so that there's maybe some other people who aren't ready, don't have to.
Well, thank you. Seriously, thank you for coming up here. It means a lot to me. I'm sure it means a lot to other people who aren't ready to share their stories because like just having so much support up here for Stefan only just isn't right in my eyes.
Yes.
Yeah. And do you want to add anything, Tech, Upa?
I think, asking that recommendation for ALR, it's said kind of in light, but in reality, that's a recommendation you give to a lot of people, huh? That this kind of community might not be the best for some people. And it's being portrayed as super friendly, super happy. It's a good opportunity. But from what I'm hearing so far, it promotes you to probably get into sex work. It promotes you to probably eat additional foods that you probably shouldn't be having to. There's kind of like a reliance system based on this grand character of Stefan. And some people aren't ready for that, especially people coming from a community where you're constantly being put down by everyone online, right? It's a vulnerable group of people getting put in a spot where all you're going to see is positivity. It's going to make you sway towards, I trust
Hello,
this. This is
Ezzy.
my home. This is my family. And it may lead you to make some decisions you wouldn't make otherwise, right?
Right. It's
Yeah,
really
and
bad too because there aren't many places that offer a happy, safe place for bigger people. And
yes.
to learn that it's actually not cracked up what it is to be, then it is disappointing.
Yeah.
And the biggest advice that I have for anybody thinking about going to Paradise or even just trying to find a body positivity place to align yourself with is pay attention who's actually the face of it. Stefan hides behind the girls. He shows the girls a lot so that it brings in other women. But if something is sort of being created, ran, or even sort of headed by a man, then maybe you need to rethink that because there could be ulterior motives. And that's where I feel like this is yes, there's a lot of amazing women there, but at the end of the day, it's his house and it's what he wants, and he's going to take what he wants from.
I mean, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with the fact that it is a man behind it, right? I don't know. I think it should be an eye opener. It should be something that warns people like, oh my God, what are his intentions, right? But I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with it being a man. Because a man can also run a space that is body positive and not necessarily only for women, right? It can be for men and for women. And even if only women mostly show up, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with a man being behind it originally.
And that
It just so happens that this man, specifically Stefan, does seem to be a feeder, and he is into bigger women. He has that preference established since the beginning, and that is something that is preparing an environment that is not very safe.
at the end of the day is not the safest environment for anyone. There are other women that are out there trying really hard to create these things, and make your own opinions at the end of the day. But in my opinion, I don't think it's the right place for anybody.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's trying to platform this place that he doesn't belong to, right? Like, this isn't his community. He has a different community, right? Like, a man who loves
It's
bigger
okay
women.
though, like
That
he
is
says,
not
it's
the
German traditions. It's
BBW
definitely not
women
German
community.
traditions.
But he's trying to put himself as the face of it and make everyone seem like, my house is this place that you can come and be loved and accepted, and which like is true. Like, I felt that from the girls, right, when I was there, but I was not looking for male attention. I was not looking to be sexualized. That is what I felt like I was going to be safe from. I felt like I was going to be safe from being sexualized or being criticized, ridiculed. It was the first time in my life that I ever felt fucking comfortable being in a bikini in a room full of fucking people, right? But it just took that one instance of like my tummy getting grabbed or like my, being grabbed by my hips because I was wearing said bikini, that I was like, okay, this isn't the place for me anymore. This is not what I thought it was. And that's fine, but don't advertise it like it is.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
That's my stance on it.
I think that's where a lot of the I don't necessarily want to call it miscommunication, because I think they're doing it on purpose of claiming that it's this one thing and then get the people there, to get the women there, and then kind of like, oh, by the way, like, and that's where a lot of these women are coming out saying, I wasn't expecting X, Y, and Z.
Let's make a friends.
Drama alert super chatted $19.99.
Hello.
Sorry, I've not showed my camera today. Tech fat shaming made me feel insecure about turning on my camera.
That's Keemstar, by the way, who, if you did not know, was the only person at Fat Camp to gain weight, Keemstar, you fucking tubby man. All right, I know you were like, I'm gonna lose weight. You gained 3 pounds, Keemstar. Don't lie to the audience. That's between me and him. There's no offense to the fat
Why
community.
was I
He just knows me and how
unsubbed?
this
I don't
relationship is dynamic.
know.
He's called me his son
I
before,
think
by
you
the
might
way.
have to ask yourself that, sir.
Another thing. Yeah, don't worry about it. I got some cool
Oh,
dads.
but I think you're on a different account.
Look,
Is that what's
it is a serious
happening?
issue. I think the community should,
No, because I think you're on a different account. Because I don't recognize this account. The name, at least. Is that possible?
think twice before, like Fox was saying,
Oh my
accepting
God, you're
who's
right.
leading kind of these social gatherings. Now, I personally am still kind of on the fence, because what is the main thing we're fighting against here? Is Stefan like a sex-driven character?
Hey, Graham.
Yes, I would say yes. Like almost guaranteed so. He wants to fuck. Did he do things to coerce people into making him be their sex partner? Maybe. It sounds like a vulnerable community showing up to his place where he's in charge of everything and has the power dynamic of, I have the money, I have the place, I have the community of the friends that you've made here. You want to
There
keep
it
this?
is.
I'm that guy. Maybe yes. Maybe I'm on that side too. But in terms of like a crime, I don't know what the crime specifically would be. It's said, we know it's been thrown out from the courts, but what is that crime? The harassment one, or is it the SA allegations? Is it the other allegations? And until I see like I don't know, maybe I'm putting a foot in my mouth on this. It's hard to say. I don't like the fact that people are dying. That's for sure. And it makes me feel terrible that
doesn't like the fact that people are dying. I honestly don't think that that is the worst part of what's going on. I think that might be something discussed within the realm of the feudalism, right? But that is not the main thing that's going on in this house. And the person that died did not hadn't been part of the Pearadise house for a long time, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah.
We have to tell a story about someone who's lost their life due to, some complications about being a part of this whole community.
No, they died for complications related to their weight, not complications due to, well, who knows, right? Because we do know that the person that died, the woman that was severely overweight, was also going through depression, and the depression was linked to her time in Pearadise. But it's hard to say that it's Pearadise that killed her,
Fuck, it sucks to say that out loud like that. I'm not a fan. It really hurts. People shouldn't be risking their health for these things, but it feels like it comes from a place of, I want somewhere to be, where I'm welcomed, where I'm accepted. And it can drag someone to do crazy things.
True.
It's also already like preying on a vulnerable community.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So like at the end of the day, saying like, is this a crime punishable by law? That's a really big gray area.
Yeah.
But what I want people to know is that you need to be informed before you make a decision to be part of any community, including this one. I have not seen anything with my own eyes to say that this crime happened or this crime happened. However, there's been a lot of people's voices who are silenced because of technicalities and what is technically a crime or what is that. And as you said, a lot of the people that he tends to date are girls in their 20s who are, may have never been shown this kind of attention in their life and just come out of, maybe high school or college, and maybe they've been bullied their whole life and they've never really had anyone show them the kind of attention that they're getting here. And so they're lapping it all up and they're not really seeing clearly.
Right.
And so that's what upsets me is, people who are already vulnerable being sort of having a wool pulled over their eyes where they're not able to really see clearly. And it took me a long time to see clearly. And I'm in my mid 30s, late 30s. But like I was manipulated by it all because I was in the same way, like sitting home alone every single night, especially during the pandemic and feeling like I didn't really have anyone. And then seeing this guy on TikTok showing off that like he's going to have this party house and there's all these people here hanging out and it looks so fun and it's in Vegas and I live in like rinky dink, Nebraska. Like this is the dreamland for me. So of course I got there as quickly as I could. And then when I got here, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And I kind of had to rebuild a life here in Vegas after I left. And I'm not the only person that's happened to. And so I'm sort of encouraging continuing people to be involved without really fully knowing what they're getting involved in is what bothers me. And I just hope by all of this, a documentary, these lives, whatever that comes out, that maybe there's some girl that's sitting in her room and she might have got a DM from him or seen the videos, that maybe she's just thinking a little bit more, she's thinking twice, getting more informed.
Oh, she definitely will. Probably not from Lolcow Bus interviews, but definitely from the docuseries. Any woman aware of the docuseries thinking about going to Pearadise is going to think twice now, so I guess mission accomplished in that sense.
Before she makes that decision.
That's fair. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, that's even like...
I mean, even if, Piggy's battle against Stefan resulted in this documentary, that's already such a big win for them, because that is a huge red flag, a huge warning to all the girls thinking about going there or even associating themselves to Stefan.
Why I've been so careful not even to mention the other people that like we were on panel with, or the people that I have talked to or have said that they don't want to come on here, like, because I don't want people to get harassment, like it's not fucking okay. And even if it's not coming from Stefan directly, it's coming from somewhere, and it needs to stop from both parties. Okay, because I understand like harassing somebody like that is never okay, right? Like, it's okay to want to make the public aware of situations that are happening, but to try and take it into your own hands to stop this person by scaring them, that's not okay.
Especially since there's already been a lawsuit to try and shut people up, and it was thrown out.
Yes.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Peachy, I want to say thank you for coming up and letting us hear your story about this. It's very brave. Like you're saying, there are people that just don't want to be involved at this point because of what happens. Tomorrow we have Stefan back on the program. He's going to be addressing a lot of the allegations made, a lot of the conversations we've had this week so far. If you want to come up there, you can. Feel free. I know that sounds tough, right? That sounds like a tough conversation to have. There's no pressure. But thank you for coming on to tell us about this today.
Oh, absolutely.
And I appreciate you guys hearing me out, letting me speak, and Foxy and Fuba and You too, Tech. I mean, at the beginning, I was kind of mad at you before I came on, but like, I hope I'm really happy that you guys sat with me and let this just be a serious topic and we're listening to us because there's a lot of us that have a lot to say and you can listen again tomorrow and make your own opinions. But just thank you guys. I appreciate you a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming up.
Feel free to
Really
chat
appreciate
whenever.
it.
Bye. Have a good night.
Poll in the chat. How are we feeling about Stefan today after today's episode?
We
Yesterday.
don't really
check
care
the side
about
chat.
that. So instead, we're going to go to the last episode of that week. I did hear that they continued the topic throughout the week after. So we are running a little bit behind, but the browser keeps breaking.
Kimmy, and that none of these relate.
I have been used
To cover in 1 week. Or
Like someone, and they're willing to just smear their name, come up with all these lies, and spread false information.
agreed. I did go ahead and invite Stefan into the room now. I also want to make sure that we get the people that have joined our community. Let's see. Welcome in. We can kind of hear
Hi.
echo.
Yeah, hopefully not anymore.
Better, yes.
Yeah, I had the laptop on with the YouTube. It's with the time delay and stuff. Okay.
No worries.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Is
you.
it clear?
It's a little worse than it was yesterday or the last time we did this.
Is it too loud or too quiet?
It's a little too loud. Like your mic is more sensitive than usual.
Hold on, let me turn it down.
While you're doing that, Yeet, thank you for the $2 saying chat is saying that Foxy's mic is loud. We addressed that. S. Carlos, welcome to Band World. Casey, the instigator, says, so Tech, you want this to be a safe space and a good show, but continue to double down that making jokes was a good decision. Grow up. Sorry. Humor is how I handle trauma, all right? Humor is how I handle the awkward parts. It would be fucking terrible to have a conversation about just sad, sad things and expect that to be entertainment for anyone. And I get it. These are serious events, and it probably shouldn't be entertainment, but that's what Fox News does, all right? That's what these news channels do. If they're going to report on an issue, it's not just going to be sad, be upset, be angry, be sad. You kind of have to add some levity to it so we can get through a 2-hour show about sexual assault, possible raping, possible fucking harassment, stalking, all these accusations that have come forward. They're very serious. We got to fucking bring it up a little bit, okay? I'm not making joke or light of the situations. Any of my jokes are kind of like, hey, Foxy, you used to be a fat bitch. What happened? You used to be pretty.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You know,
Fox News is not a good comparison. Probably not.
Disgusting.
Welcome to Band World for Me, the Stylist.
But then again, expecting Lolcow Bus to conduct anything seriously is also like not it.
For Charlie K.
Really quick. Is it better now?
It is better now.
Okay, so I can close this dialogue and see you guys again. It was popped all over. All right. Where do we stop?
Whew. Okay, so I think we should definitely first go into what happened last night. I see a lot of people in the chat being like, why the fuck were you guys up in that live stream? What happened? Why were you there? So for those of you who don't know, me, Fupa, and Tech went on Zio the Dreamer's TikTok live stream, right? And, somebody else just also happened to be there.
I wonder who.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys know her name? Why don't you go ahead and tell them, Fupa?
Amber Lynn. We had a little bus reunion on TikTok last night, and it was kind of fun. It started out really fun and exciting,
Okay, I'm guessing you guys did not record that. That would have been a good thing to do.
at least when I joined, and then things kind of got serious.
Yes. I mean, Stefan, you were down in the chat being like, let me up. I mean, Amberlynn did want to meet you really badly. So you got brought up into the box. And then immediately, pretty much it was like 3 minutes later, right? Other people started coming up in the box, one of them being named Paula. And it immediately went south.
Yes.
There were some serious claims that were made. And I think that we should go ahead and get that out of the way and talk about it immediately. There were like a couple questions that she had asked you. And it just got really heated really fast. What was your
Yeah, both of them seemed very passionate about their point of view last night.
Yes.
I mean, unlike your show, I have been used to getting put in a box or getting put up on a public live stream with hundreds of people watching, and then told that I'm a bitch or shut the fuck up or you're an ass. Like all the profanities that happened last night not a single one came from me. Like it was also, I have to say, I still am not going to say anything negative about Z, but I think that last night that was a setup. Like everybody wanted me in the box. I just wanted to. I came in peace. I was having such a good time. Literally like a bus after dark. Something. It was so cool, and I was going to just say hi to Amberlynn and say like, from one controversial person to another, let's meet on this live stream and just say hi. We chatted 6 years ago, but like what's up? What a coincidence. What a collision of worlds and all this kind of stuff. And then somebody basically intentionally let Pow up there, knowing that that's going to immediately take everything sideways, and there was no proper disciplined communication going to happen, because what this girl does is and nobody else gets to talk until she got booted out of the box. Because I would have wanted to have an actual like a civil discussion with her because she has all these claims and all these accusations, but she never lets me talk. Like she says, she's one of the people that's adamant that Pearadise is a sex house, and like that I coerced her into doing corn farming, right? I don't know how much I can say here, right? That I coerced her into doing sex work. No, let me tell you guys this: Pao actually came to the house, and I'll be very blunt here. Tell me if I'm taking it too far. Pao came to the house to fuck me. She made plans to come here and fuck, and she was also interested in Cass, and there was multiple threesomes with Cass and her.
Okay.
So the intent was very, very clear. She walked into Pearadise with full intent of getting this D, and she did.
Getting this D.
And she did. And she had plenty of fun. There was a couple of situations that hindsight would have to say that were a little questionable. Like, when she tells me to not tell her boyfriend about what we did, it's kind of like it's a line of cheating. Even in an open or poly relationship, you always want to be honest with your partner. Like, if you come to Vegas to fuck with me, let's be adults, grown up, consenting adults. If you're going to Vegas to fuck with me, come and fuck, but please tell your boyfriend everything you're doing. Like, don't whisper in my ear in the hot tub after it was so good. Hey, can we please not tell my boyfriend about this? And I'm like, oh my god, like I don't want to start any drama. I let it go. It was completely fine. I didn't care. We had so much fun. Like I don't have this stuff prepared right now, but like I have videos of me trying on wigs, and she's in the background laughing her ass off. We had so much fucking fun until we didn't.
Yeah.
And then she turned like it's a long, very, very dark and very sad story. I told you guys, and I sent you the evidence in the docket team.
Okay.
How Piggy just kept attacking and berating Cass. Like this is one thing that cannot be put under the rug. Cass ended that whole episode by putting a screenshot, and you don't have to pull it up, but I really want to read that. I want to read it to you, okay? Piggy bullies and harasses Cass. It ends in a statement from Cass. I just want to put out there that the reason I'm so quiet is because this entire situation has been extremely triggering to me. I'm a survivor of an actual sexual assault, and I'm still coping with it. And for the last couple of months, it has been hell for me because people are making a mockery of SA, lying about it, and using it for their own personal vendettas. My mental health has taken a huge hit, and I know I now need to take care of myself, which is why I try to avoid all of this, because I cannot handle it. After months of being called every name in the book by Piggy and the gang, I cannot handle much more. That's the last screenshot in the whole series of documented abuse that I have from Piggy towards Cass. Piggy made accounts and called Cass a groomer. She went on public calling Cass a groomer. She said Cass's purpose in this house is to bring in, as a bait girl, underage women for me to forcefully intoxicate and then R-word. You don't say that to somebody repeatedly and not drive their mental health into the ground.
Yeah.
So yes, there was a lot of things that happened, and Pao is probably going to lose her fucking shit and steam coming out of her here because in her mind it's all my fault, right? Pao didn't live with Cass. Cass was my girlfriend. Cass slept in my bed every night. Cass and I cried together night after night, like when some shit popped off, because Cass, I am the only one that can tell you this because she's not here to defend herself, very, very sadly. She was a survivor of actual SA. And this is something that I also want the watching the viewers, the audience to understand. In English language, SA is a very, very broad term. If I say SA, 98% of the viewers are going to assume our word. If I say unwanted touch or you made me uncomfortable, the audience is going to understand, okay, he tapped my butt, he grabbed my hips, what the things I did to Foxy, I've fully, like, hands down here, like, Foxy, I am so fucking sorry. I never ever intended for you to feel uncomfortable in my house. Absolutely not. I completely crossed the line there with you because you did not come here with an intent to hook up. You came here to make TikToks, you came with your partner. I fully own that, on live in front of everybody, but you also came at me the right way. You said, hey, Stefan, you did this, you made me uncomfortable. You gave me you used the right language. You gave me a chance to basically say, oh my God, that there was no intent behind it. Like I would have never wanted to make anybody in my house uncomfortable.
The fact that he says that she used the right language because she didn't use the words SA or the word sexual assault, like, what if Foxy did feel sexually assaulted? I mean, she's just not using those words, but what if she did? And now you're dismissing that entirely.
Comfortable. Pao walked in here wanting to fuck.
So I think
I want real quick, just to make sure, Paula, if you are watching, we did have a conversation yesterday. You're invited. We said, hey, if you want to have a conversation about this, you want to get your story out there, you can come up here and voice your concerns. She said she didn't want to be here. That offer still extends. Paula, if you want to have a conversation about this on Monday or something, I don't want you to feel like you're being silenced. A large portion of this community has said that it sounds like we're just giving Stefan a platform. It sounds like we're just supporting him. I am learning all about this live on the air, okay? Foxy has an experience. Right? Fupa is working really hard, really dedicated to work with like the docket team to come up with all the fucking points of evidence. And I've been pulled back as someone who can just address it with what's being said on live so it doesn't come off as biased in either direction. Right? That's how we're establishing this so no one gets more airtime or less airtime on some type of bias. Okay? So go ahead, Foxy.
Yeah, and I'm reaching out to as many people as I can. But the truth is that a lot of people don't want to come forward and don't want to tell their stories because of the harassment that they get in return.
Or they just don't want to tell their stories through the platform of Lolcow Bus. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about that? Would it be an idea to maybe offer a more neutral space for these women to talk? Like, come on now. Oh, the self-awareness sometimes is just so severely lacking.
You know?
I think what we've tried to do here is let him explain his side, and then the following day, let someone else explain their side. Because I think it's fair to let everyone say their side, and then everyone have a chance to also respond.
Yeah.
So
But
You guys have been-
the point that I wanted to make to you, Stefan, was
Peace and love in the LT.
At the Drama Network 2026 super chatted $19.99. Stefan, you are manipulative,
Ooh.
controlling feeder. You target women who don't have enough self-awareness to see your behavior for what it is. I hope this documentary shows women who you really are.
All right. Am I allowed to respond to that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm being called everything under the sun right now because also like of the intentional, provocative nature of the trailer. Right? There's a person in that trailer that has never been to Paradise.
At this point, he still thinks that the documentary is going to be positive for him. He thinks the trailer was just, we're just trying to be controversial so that people watch a docuseries. No, the entire docuseries is exposing you as the suspicious, creepy guy that you are. And to this point, when the docuseries is not out yet, he still thinks that that's what it's going to be, some kind of positive docuseries on a positive space for bigger women. No, it's not.
There's all these allegations of like feeding and force feeding and all that kind of stuff. If anybody ever wants to dive into that
Force feeding. I'm not sure anyone said anything about force feeding.
subject, please research the app Phoebe. There's an app Phoebe called Phoebe. It's all about feederism. It's all about men paying women for all sorts of like content, especially like force feeding, death feederism. You can find that all on Phoebe. You cannot find any of that at Paradise. I have no idea. To this day, I am like probably like all three of you, completely like shocked or surprised that like that voice was in the trailer. You don't know the price you pay. Not here. Like, is this person right now just like claiming that I'm feeding people as receipts, please?
We did get a claim. Was it yesterday from Cherry that talked about this like shake you would give the ladies that you were?
No, I didn't.
It was like apparently like multiple protein shakes in one drink to try and help them gain weight. Is that real? Is that wrong?
You would have to talk to Rissa about that because Rissa is an adult. What she does, which like, I don't control her. I don't give her anything. I don't tell her what to do. There is a fetish out there. There are people like Pao and all the people that are talking shit about me. They're all models on the internet. They make money with either porn or fetish content. There's even the people that came Jordan. Jordan has a whole.
So is it just me, or is he completely denying being a feeder? Because in the docuseries, he sort of does hint at the fact that he likes when women offer him to gain weight. So I don't think he can entirely say that he's not like that, that he doesn't have that kink, because he does. And he should be more aware of what he's said on a docuseries.
OF, like a whole presence centered around feeding. Like she sits on camera, stuffs her face, and tells people that she wants to gain weight.
No.
They can all do whatever the fuck they want. They're adults.
I hear you. This whole feeder community, I was barely introduced to it with Amberlynn Reed. We worked with her for a couple months. People made claims that her partner was a feeder. I only kind of tangentially know it as you kind of support them or enjoy the fact that they are eating more than they should be. I don't think it really necessarily has to involve you forcing them to eat it, but if you enjoy that they eat big portions, right, or that they're maintaining a larger weight, I think that falls into the category. I may be incorrect. Fupa has been in this feeder community, not as a feeder or a fucking eater or whatever, but she's known about this for a while. Fupa, would you agree that if you're just showing support for them maintaining large amounts of weight, that would consider you a feeder?
I think
Peace and love in the LT.
Almost.
At Lolcow super chatted $19.99. Not certain of Stefan at all, but I hate the narrative that fat women aren't self-aware or capable because they are fat. Plenty of strong, smart women are fat as hell too.
Personally, my view on it is when someone is encouraging someone.
Sorry.
At some random guy super chatted $20. I just came in and I have no clue what you're all talking about, but where can I order one of these shakes? Is it at McDonald's? And also, why does the $20 song say LTU instead of LCU? Also explain who GRU for the lumberjacks.
Who is Gru? Gru, that's Stefan. I know he looks like Gru from Despicable Me. He is the guy who runs Pearadise, I don't want to say it's fat. Well, all right, I'll give my description. A fat-friendly place for people to be proud of their bodies and make friendships and maybe relationships and get to know each other without the stresses of public opinions about how fat people are portrayed.
Yes, and at the end of the day, it turns into a fat person orgy.
Online
Might as well
or
add
media.
that. When someone asks, did you feed them a triple protein shake, and you can't just say no. Right. he can't because he has done that before. And why isn't anyone calling him out on it?
Or in public, actually. Fat people get a fucking shit ton of hate. Over there, no hate. That's my understanding.
Oh, what I was saying on the feederism, I'm not like well versed in it, but I would say, from my opinion, if you are encouraging someone who is already at a very unhealthy weight, if you are encouraging them to eat unhealthy food and to then put on more weight, that would fall under feederism.
Right. Like maybe, you know, going to the heart attack
Yes, and Stefan has done that.
grill repeatedly, eating fast.
Elite, he didn't force it down their throat. Yeah, again, like it's feederism is not force feeding. Those are still two different things. I mean, a feeder, maybe an extreme feeder, might force feed, but that is not the definition of feeder.
Food every single day. I mean, it does contribute to keeping somebody there, whether we want to admit it or not.
Let me respond to that really quick. The heart attack grill sadly closed.
The heart attack grill sadly closed. I'm so happy that a toxic place like that no longer exists. And I know that not everyone in the chat agrees with me. As some of you might think that it's a really nice place to go eat, but if there's a place where you go and you get on a scale in front of everyone and you are above 350 pounds, you get celebrated and you get to eat for free. And they purposely don't put any veggies in the food because it's too healthy. That is what they believe in. No, I'm sorry, no.
It was a show. The heart attack grill is the definition of America's Las Vegas. It was a spectacle. The heart attack grill wasn't about gaining weight. It was about getting on the scale, getting the whole restaurant to clap for you, and getting free food if you're over 350. I do agree to a certain extent because
it is literally celebrating being unhealthy and fat and big.
But you always filmed it.
It's a
it's
celebration.
a spectacle. It got views. Yes, I agree. Listen, this whole show is for clicks and views and for entertainment, right? I go live at the heart attack grill. Cat gets it.
Clicks and views.
I go live at the heart attack grill, I get 1,000 viewers. If I sit here and pack in my cardboard boxes, I get 120. Of course, I fully admit, sometimes social media really is about the entertainment. Heart attack grill is by definition crazy entertainment. It is wild and wacky and wrong in all sorts of ways. But like, I also don't ever tell people, hey, we need to go to the heart attack grill. I want to see you eat 3 burgers. Rissa eats 1 burger there. She gets on the scale. Audrey gets on the scale. Everybody gets clapped for. They sit down. They eat 1 burger. So yes, we did go there for the clout, for the clicks, for the likes, for the views. But we did not go there with an intent to gain weight.
Would Rissa be willing to come up here and answer some questions?
I can see about that. Like, but she's in my backyard right now, so we can see a little bit later. Like when Audrey comes up, maybe Rissa wants to come up too.
And I do want to say, I used to live fucking walking distance to the heart attack grill. I've been there a number of times. It is very performative. It is, you know, they put you in a fucking nurse, like a hospital gown.
The hospital gown,
They do
yes.
the whole thing. They spank you if you can't finish your food or whatever. But it's not terrible. I do want to say though, the guy who started the entire restaurant, he was like, I want fat people to realize how fucking fat they are. Like he was kind of like, hey, like I know I'm performative. I know this is what it's about, but fuck it, dude. And there is an argument to be made, and I've seen this in some positive big women spaces, that the heart attack grill, going there confidently and being on a camera is kind of promoting that you don't need to be uncomfortable with your weight or your size, how you look. It's showing the confidence that can come from being in a community, supporting each other, and saying, look, you don't have to hide yourself. You can be publicly known as being a fat girl or a fat guy or whatever, and claim it. Just claim that that's who you are.
And plenty of times I've had people who did not want to go. They did not want to expose themselves. They were too shy for that. Like, you know, it takes a shit ton of confidence to walk up on that stage and have the entire restaurant see your weight.
Yeah.
So it is. Let's call it this. The heart attack grill was very controversial. Even here in the house, you know, we've had like, you know, supporters of the concept. We've had people saying like, oh my god, like what a shit show. But I do want to say one last thing really quick, because I'm getting villainized so much about like this whole feederism thing or whatever. I consider myself the way I would best describe myself, I'm a hardcore FA in terms internet slang or whatever. And FA is just a fat admirer. I like my girl fat. Okay, period. I'm not trying to make her fatter. I'm not trying to keep her fat. I'm not trying to change anybody.
Yeah, but you have admitted to enjoying when a girl gets bigger for you.
My two biggest rules in life is like, you know, happy and healthy. Whatever these
Happy and healthy. That is crazy.
2 definitions are for you is for you. So if I find a girl that tells me she's happy, the weight is her thing. I'm not trying to change it. If somebody came to me, aka Shay, which happened, we sat right here across from each other at this desk right here.
Yeah.
We were discussing her trying to get happier by getting less weight. And I had told her, like, girl, you have a good start right now. Keep the momentum going. Like, you know, if you want to cook, like, you know, lean.
It's okay if you want to lose weight, but I'm not going to be with you anymore when you do. Just like that. Just like that.
Foods or whatever, I'm down. Like, you know, I'm a little chunky too at this point because the girls feed me really well. Like, they love to cook. And I was all for it. I said, girl, I fully support you losing weight.
Maybe there's another way we can probably address this because I myself, I Tech Protect, I'm in a little bit of controversy. One of my co-hosts on another show here in the network is a guy named Iceman.
If someone I'm in a relationship wants to make me happy, that's on her. Yes, but it really depends, because if you're running an environment where it celebrates you being bigger, there is inherent pressure for you to be bigger. I'm saying he's saying that. Okay. But in a way, it's true. I mean, a lot of people do things for their partners that they think makes them happy, but it's not exactly the most important thing, right? A lot of people make assumptions and do things for others that they don't necessarily want them to do for them. So it's a lot of that is their own decision, right?
And Oz. He's from Australia. He's been a YouTuber for years. Publicly, he struggled with drug use and alcoholism, and he currently lives in like a
yeah. He's definitely using half truths to
housing
justify
thing.
bad behavior, and it's so hard to get anything out of him where he's like, yeah, it's not a great look, or it's not very healthy, or nothing like that. That's what I struggle with Stefan. If there was like a single bit of him that was like, yeah, it's unhealthy. Yeah, it's not the base practice. Yeah, I'm kind of ashamed of whatever and this and that. There's just nothing like that.
Government, right? I sent him money and he used it to buy alcohol, and I was like, hey, I sent him money to take his girlfriend on a date, to buy new fucking things for the show, to do this. He used it for alcohol. I don't care. He's an adult. He can run the way he wants to live his life, the way he wants to live his life. I'm not responsible for them. But I got a lot of heat for it because, yes, an alcoholic used money I gave him to buy alcohol. Do you think that's bad of me? Because I am kind of enabling that behavior. That could be seen the same way this feeder thing is. You enable these women to live rent-free in your house. They can use their money for more food, or they're eating in your place, at your house, where you live, where you control everything, right? It's your place. That they just eat as much as they want, and you're not really saying anything. Is not taking action and action in your eyes.
It's a very controversial topic, actually, because is the bar responsible for an alcoholic going to drink? Is the gas station responsible for a smoker to buy tobacco? It's like, where are the lines? At what point?
You're responsible for the environment that you create, where you are not just offering us a body positive place, but you're also celebrating bigger people.
At what point, are we talking about consenting adults that are just living free? And consenting adults making their own decisions without having to point fingers at me and trying to make me responsible, when it's like the ultimate double standard. Like, is the heart attack girl responsible for a person actually having a heart attack at the restaurant? It happened. It was big news because I wonder how many people have heart attacks all across the country in all different restaurants. It never makes the news. At the heart attack girl, it made the news. So I'm just saying, don't judge me by a different standard than everybody else.
Wait,
yes,
can you talk about that for a second? Exactly what you're talking about the heart attack that happened?
I don't know the details. You would have to Google it. Like at some point a couple of years ago, somebody really actually had a heart attack at the heart attack girl, and it was in the news.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like a personal situation.
No.
Oh, no, not us. No, okay. It was just on the Vegas news that somebody.
I do remember that.
So
what? Okay, so the original question that I wanted to ask you before was.
This is why if you find a significant other, you love them for them. You don't do it for a fetish or anything like that. There's someone you want for the rest of your life. So you got to be okay if they change. Yeah, absolutely. And you got to encourage them being happy and seeking happiness for themselves, right? But sometimes that also means encouraging them to do things that are hard for them to do, but that will make them a healthier person and live longer. Does that make sense? And that should be part of loving a bigger person. If they're doing something that's not good for themselves and that will have them die earlier, then it should be part of that relationship to encourage them to be healthier. And a lot of times with a bigger person, that means losing weight or making healthier choices, being more active.
Last night, Paolo was making some pretty intense claims, right? That you were claiming that it was Kimmy that drove Cass to the 911 call that we ultimately heard on the trailer. And Paola last night came to you and said, no, Stefan, it was you. You pushed her to do that.
I can absolutely address it. And this is a very sad, very deep rabbit hole that I haven't gone down in a long time. It was very traumatizing for me because I was here. I found her in my bed unconscious. This is like something that I was never given the opportunity and the decency to actually properly process, because immediately fingers pointing at me, right? So very, very sadly, Cass was my girlfriend, right? A lot goes on in this house when I have a girlfriend. Other women being catty, people trying to sabotage it, people trying to get with me and push the other girl out, people bullying the other. Like, I don't know if you watched my live last night. I was talking about it because I'm actually really mad because behind the scenes before Shay passed, there was some mean girling and some bullying going on in the house that had me upset. And I say, like, what the fuck is this? This is not Pearadise. Like, you guys, Shay was literally holding it together. So at the time, back in 2020, like early 22, Pao and Avocado, like I'm using all these like nicknames, right? Like Cass had like two close friends that we were always in contact with. Like, we went to Michigan when Avocado broke her leg, and Cass and I went to help her. Like, we stayed at her house for like a week or two, whatever, to help her when she had her leg broken or whatever, right? These two women inserted themselves so deep in my personal relationship with Cass that like eventually like they convinced her, like they turned her on me. Like, there was FaceTime calls that they did with her, telling her that I'm a bad guy and I'm bad for her and all sorts of shit. And there's one particular incident that I wanted to talk about that I remember very vividly because it was super traumatizing for me. Relationship problems are normal. Every relationship goes to up and downs, and like, you have to communicate, you have to talk about things, you have to talk things out, right? So these women, Pao and Avocado, led me to believe that I can trust them as friends of Cass's, right, to vent to them. So I was out at the pharmacy down the street picking up my prescription. They called me on a phone call, right? And I told them some things that I was going to bring up to Cass, that I was going to discuss with her and I'm going to try to figure out, right? And I told them, like, I'm going to drive home and I'm going to sit down with Cass and have a discussion, like adults. What did these bitches do? Excuse my French. Before I had a chance to drive home, they called Cass and aired it all out. Like, basically, they ran ahead and called her and triggered her by, how do I say this? By telling my private business, like the things that I had vented to them as a friend in confidence, ran to her and told her, and from that point on, everything took like a sharp, like a nosedive, right? And the thing is that, like, multiple people had their hands in this. Pearadise has always been a place with multiple women, right? Like multiple people. Like, there's guys here too, but like, and then whenever relationship stuff happens, people insert themselves hardcore in other people's relationship stuff, which is absolutely unacceptable. And I wish there was other occasions too that I don't want to get into right now, where people quite literally sabotaged relationships by going back and forth between the people and running the bullshit back and forth. Like, talking to the one partner, getting all the juicy tea, right? Running back to the other partner, telling them the tea, right?
Right.
Fucking insane. I can't even tell you. So in this particular,
But you were the one who made the claim that this was all Kimmy and that none of these relationship issues were ever even brought up. And now you're saying that it was like Paula and Avocado Ashley that put that in her head and triggered this.
I saw in the trailer. In the trailer, you see Cece sitting down at the very end, and she's saying, if it wasn't for Pearadise, Cass would still be alive, which I find is the ultimate disgrace to Cass's legacy. Like, this is the like, I have no words for that. Like, for her to be able to sit down and say that when she knew what happened. Cece herself bullied Cass to the point that the whole trip in Michigan almost went, like, Cass was sitting there crying because Cece was making fucking bullying posts about Cass. And now for her to sit there, yes, I have to agree. If it wasn't for Pearadise, there might be a chance like that Cass might still be alive. But it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with all them other bitches and the whole circumstance. I'm not sitting.
How can you say that? 1 minute you're saying that it's completely insane for them to say that Pearadise has anything to do with her passing, and then the next second you're saying, oh, it might have to do with Pearadise, but not me. It's all these other women that are here. Like, how can you feel like that's none of your responsibility if you're the person that owns the place and that organizes the parties, that has all these people over, that keeps all these people there? Like, I don't understand how can you dismiss any responsibility off of yourself and say that it's all these other girls that you brought in there?
And saying I'm innocent. But the problem is,
oh, I'm not saying I'm innocent. Okay.
It's always like,
yes, you are. It has nothing to do with me.
Things are happening. Like, there's many, many wheels in the gearbox, right? But then when something happens, everybody stops and says, it was Stefan. Do you get that part? I might have, obviously, a role in it. I was her fucking boyfriend. I was being slandered all over the internet. Like, I was being accused of all sorts of crazy shit. She happened to be my girlfriend. She stood by my side because A, she was an eyewitness. She was actually in the house, like K-Bug, when all that shit happened. So she had every right to speak up and say, hold on, guys. You're taking this too far. Please, if you want to listen to women, also listen to the women who were actually in the house when it happened. And Piggy and the gang bullied her into the ground. They ridiculed her own SA experience. They called her a fucking groomer. Piggy made videos on videos talking the craziest, most vile bullshit about my girlfriend Cass, because that's how they work. They work like Mexican drug cartel. If they can't get to me because I have a pretty thick skin, they attack Cass. If they can't get to Shay, they attack Shay's family. They literally sought out Shay's family and attacked Shay's cousin and telling her that, like, oh, Shay is in danger. She should not go to Paradise. No, go to Paradise. She's gonna get onward and whatever.
Real quick,
and then
we're
go
going.
on live.
We have a ton of things to address. Foxy, we need to stop it when we have a point we want to make. Is there anything that he said so far that you have a counterclaim against or don't feel like it's entirely accurate?
I have something.
Go ahead, Fupa.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know what did you tell those girls that they then ran and told Cass? Like, what were the topics you were trying to bring up?
Cass and I had like some relationship problems because we were navigating a poly relationship, and I had wanted to see another partner. And I don't want to go into the private details; it's nobody's business. But there was basically there was a conflict that we were having that was like, I didn't quite know yet, like, how to handle it. I didn't know what to do. And so I vented to the girls and I said, like, I'm kind of like lost, I don't really know, like, I need to sit her down. I need to talk to her. We need to figure this out like adults.
Yeah.
And
So
they ran ahead. Like, that's like,
we're just asking for, like straight facts right now, right? Of like, so basically it was that you wanted to see another partner and that's kind of what triggered this whole meltdown that led into the incident.
No, there was so many things. There were so many things. Like, the term, like, the saying, like, the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, it could very well be that phone call, like that snitching behind my back and that kind of stuff ended up being that straw. It could have been something else. Something I've never published and will never publish. I guess
I just don't understand like why the blame was placed on Kimmy when that wasn't the thing that triggered it at all. Why was this
part of it?
Why was this part never talked about? And it was all just Kimmy. Because
you have no idea all, like, how that affects somebody. You weren't here when Cass was crying to me and saying, like, she can't take this anymore, like, mockery of SA and all that kind of stuff. Hindsight, I have to take accountability. The best thing I could have done for her is get off of fucking TikTok, and I didn't. Yeah, I wanted to.
I guess that's what I want to know too, is why are you still on TikTok, right? When like this is not the place that it was originally advertised to be, which is fine. Like, you want to have like your adult parties at night, that's fine. But why are you still going live on TikTok every single day trying to promote the same exact things that you were back when it started?
I don't promote it. I don't tell anybody like, hey, this is body positivity, safe space, come here and hang out. No, I just, like, we sit and eat dinner. We talk about, like, I mean,
I've made an assessment as an outside source. It feels like the Ouroboros. You're familiar with that term, right? Ouroboros?
No.
The snake that eats itself, right? Yes. It bites its tail and it keeps on trying to swallow itself and it keeps growing, so it keeps on staying in the circle. The hate online has caused you to want to make responses to what these claims are. And if you're not on TikTok anymore, then it's just one conversation being had, and it's their conversation, right? If I'm being as good faith as possible here, you are constantly being addressed with allegation. Here's what I've heard, and there's, from what I'm seeing so far, no concrete evidence of these things against you, but they always are bringing it up. And so if you just leave, then they get to run the narrative. So I understand why you would stay on TikTok and why you would continue to have these conversations online. Am I correct in assuming that's a reason?
I mean, TikTok has always been a hobby for me. It's been like just for shits and giggles. It wasn't ever for the money, and it's for entertainment and stuff. And like, the one thing I'm not going to do is, like,
I can actually, it's weird, right? Because a lot of these women complain about the fact that they had the camera in their faces the whole time, constantly. So not only does this guy have cameras all throughout the house, in the living room, in the looking at the pool, many different perspectives, many camera angles. The only place that didn't have cameras were like the bedrooms and the bathrooms, right? But a lot of these women complain about having the camera in their faces the whole time. So not only were there these security cameras, he also had like TikTok live open all the time, and it's women say that it's from like the morning until the evening. Like, this guy has the camera on them the whole day, right? And he's saying that he doesn't make any money off of it. It's like a hobby. So how come he keeps doing it, knowing that a lot of these make women uncomfortable? Why is he making it such a spectacle? Why has he not made it a lot less of a spectacle the whole time that the girls are there? How has he not yet become aware that this is something that makes people uncomfortable? it really makes you think, like, if he's not doing it for the money, then he's doing it for himself, for his own satisfaction of having these women on camera eating and going about their lives being extremely big people. It's for his own satisfaction. If it's not for the money, and he's not listening to these girls when they say they don't want it, then it's for himself, for his own satisfaction.
Give way to somebody who openly said that they want me dead, like they want me off the social media. Like I'm going to say fuck you. Like, you know, my skin is thicker than yours. I'll prevail. It's like you know, they try to cancel me so hard. They try to attack me on all angles, but I'm still here. I don't have any family members that they could harass. I don't have I'm not an employee for a company where they could call and give them some bullshit to get me fired. Like I'm doing great. You know, I'm sitting here in this house with friends in the back, friends that love me and hang out with me in the background. My bills are paid. You know, I have fun when I go on TikTok because you have no idea how much support. Like since I've gotten on you guys' show, I can't even tell you, hundreds of DMs like supporting and saying like, you know, we're here. No matter what, we're here. We've believed you from day one. We've watched you.
Oh wow, they're getting a lot of support through their participation in Lolcow Bus. I really wonder how that will change after the docuseries that came out yesterday, because I cannot imagine it's in their favor. In this case, it would be good to have cameras from everything that happened. Yeah, it shouldn't be a recorded thing to begin with. The thing, if it's for his own protection, then I understand him having all those security cameras. But on top of that, he's filming everything with like phones and everything for like TikTok Live and everything. And that has made people uncomfortable too.
Piggy is completely batshit crazy. Anybody can see it. It's a campaign.
Yeah.
It's a political campaign at this point.
I would say that there's as many people on the opposing side as well, though, but they're the ones who are afraid to speak because of the attack that your side is putting on them.
That's what they say. That's what they say, but they never have receipts. I, on the other hand, ready to go, have receipts right now to show you how Piggy herself, with her own name on her own profile, went out and harassed people. And I have a video of Piggy herself going on live in front of a big audience, telling people to call CPS on me.
Okay, to
sabotage my children.
To be fair about this whole thing, there's also at least 2 women that came out yesterday. Was it yesterday, right? Jordan and Cherry?
Yes.
Am I right?
Mm-hmm. No, it's Peachy.
Peachy, sorry.
No,
Fruits are confusing. I'm a fat guy. So they came out and they said, you know, I was part of the inner circle and I did commit some harassment on your, you know,
behalf. On my behalf.
Yeah, behalf.
Yes.
English is a second language for me. Sorry. So they did it and they claimed you never had influenced them, right? They did it for themselves because they are your friends. So it does sound like the harassment comes from both communities. Maybe Piggy or Katie or Kimmy or whatever, maybe she didn't directly tell people to do these things, but because she is against you and they're fans of hers, they did these things. And maybe you didn't ask people on your side to do these things, but because they're friends of yours and they support you, they did on behalf of you.
I also never said Piggy did everything. Like the way that she is going out there, she says Stefan did, Stefan sent, Stefan actively did. I'm saying I have receipts of Piggy doing it herself with her own account. I have receipts of Piggy. Whatever I'm talking about when I accuse Piggy of things, I have receipts. The rest is zombies. You know, she created a zombie army. Like I've gotten death threats. I got doxxed. I had like, you know, people saying like, you know, I had somebody send a message to Shay, a private message saying like, hey Shay, when is the next party and what's the address so I can come and I can't repeat this.
Yeah, I have to interrupt you real quick. Chat, we are going members only because, as you know, when someone says the magical word of docs, that shit's gonna be fucking all over our chat.
Sorry,
so we appreciate you. If you want to enjoy the conversation, you can become a member onto the channel, talk with us. But yeah, we're gonna have to shut that down for a little bit. Thank
Does
you. But
Piggy at some point join as well today or no?
Piggy created a zombie army, quite literally, like. And I'm not saying same thing. I'm not saying she is sending warriors. But I have a recording, receipts of her saying somebody needs to call CPS on him. So that's brigading. It's called brigading. You know, if I say, hey Foxy, maybe you should call CPS on Fupa, right? That's kind of like really insinuating it. Me posting Piggy's video on the Discord and say, guys, look at this bullshit. It's just me bringing awareness to it. I never said like, oh, guys, report it. I vented. I said like, what the fuck? Like, why is she still allowed to do this? I get banned for vulgar content for showing a lady in a swimsuit trying to bring positivity and empowerment to people. And she's sitting there telling people to call CPS on my children. And TikTok says that doesn't violate the guidelines. Yeah, fuck TikTok. That's what I'm saying to that. I was mostly upset with TikTok because TikTok is so. I can't even tell you, like, you know, I can just sit here and talk and I get a violation for whatever nudity and sexual. You've seen it, like, and then somebody like Piggy is on there, like, you know, telling people to do all this crazy shit and bullying and harassing, and TikTok says like, you know, it doesn't violate the guidelines. Hello, what kind of universe is this? Like, where's the fairness in this? So I believe to a certain extent, TikTok also is at fault for this, for allowing this to happen on their platform. Because one thing, yes, absolutely.
Do you know somebody named Jess? Or is it Jessica? Maybe.
Jessica.
Yes.
Mm.
Do you know that
I-
name?
What is there like another screen? Like, is it Jessica and then like Talk Last with Jess or something?
Maybe they reached out on Discord saying they wanted to have a conversation, but I'll reach out to them. We got a couple claims that we did want to cover. This is from people that were at your place. They don't want to come on and get the scrutiny, but they do want to see if you'll talk about these issues. Were you ever watching the girls have a competition about how many burgers they can eat in one go?
Yes. Here's the thing. I don't get off on these things. It has nothing sexual for me. The girls started a competition between each other who can eat more in and out double animal style, right? They did that because, I don't know, for content, for rage bait, for whatever the hell they wanted. And I was just like, you guys are crazy. There's no way you can do this. So I was there for it, yes, but I didn't instigate it. I didn't promote it. And I didn't get sexually off of it. That I need to make absolutely clear.
Okay.
But it's true.
Another girl who...
Okay, so this guy is literally saying that he does not get off on women eating in front of him and doing like some sort of like food challenges and who can eat the most, etc. I don't know. It's hard to believe after knowing what I know about him. What's up, Joseph?
Again, they don't want to be on camera, but they do want to speak about this. They said they're pretty sure you were banned off of Phoebe, that you had an account and you were banned from it.
That's correct. I've been part of Phoebe since 2016, just like I've been part of the BBW community since 2006. And I just got preemptively banned based on, like, Piggy. Like, they just ran to the moderators and reported me, but I never broke any rule on the site. I never offended anybody. I never got a warning. I never broke any of the site's rules. It was literally just like, based on the things that like the women said without any...
Wait,
like,
why were you even on the website if you're quote unquote not a feeder?
It's not like, okay, when it started in 2016, it was like more of a plus size. It was supposed to be a plus size Facebook. Like, it was supposed to be a social network for plus size. And obviously they also have a lot of like, they have all the different segments on there. Like, you could be an FA, which I am. So my tag was FA, right? Then there's feeder, there's FD, and there is just, I don't remember all the different tags that they had. I was part of it because
Looks like a very fancy place behind there, isn't it?
it's a plus size community. Like, why not? I never engaged in...
When were you banned off of? So it's obviously after 2021, right? That you were banned if it was quote unquote Kimmy.
22 or something. And I had a conversation with the admins. Like, I tried to like make my case to the admins, but unlike you guys or many other discords, like the admins just didn't give a fuck. Like, they are known to like, I know at least 5 women that got banned off of that site because those admins, that's a whole different drama show right there that like, I'm actually not even mad that I'm not there anymore. It's like people just get banned left and right for nonsense.
So why are you trying to advocate to stay on a website that no longer has the same views as you, as you're saying?
But wait, what do you mean I advocated for it?
Right, you're going to the moderators, trying to fight your case, trying not to get kicked off of the platform, that you're claiming that you don't have those views anymore, that you like, or they don't share the same views as you anymore, right? Obviously in 2022, Phoebe was definitely a feeder website.
Yeah, of course. It's just because it's an unfair ban. If anything, I want to make the choice to leave a community or not. Like, and I did have friends on there. Don't get me wrong. Like, I had a friend network, like probably 50 or 60 friends that I had on there. I had like, I don't remember how many followers I had, but like, it was social media for me, And there was Discord communities too.
Why are you using a feeder website to make friends?
Because like the bash, when you go to the BBW bash, there's going to be feeders there, there's going to be feedies there, there's going to be corn farmers there, there's everything is going to be there, but you can have your own friend circle. Like, I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm also not sitting here villainizing feederism. I'm saying like, what happens between two consenting adults.
Neither are we, right? But like, it just does not make sense that you would be on this website having all of these friends participating, not wanting to get kicked off of it if you don't in fact enjoy the kind of content that is on this website. You
don't have to. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's plenty of women on there that are not into this. Like, I never sent anybody money for food. The definition of...
Why not just use a different platform? I mean, you're at the bashes, you have your house, you have Pearadise at this point, you have so many different things.
To be fair, like, that is kind of the platform to find the fat women. Okay, that kind of feels like that is the place to go.
I was gonna say,
if I was looking for people to go to like Bible study on, I might go to Christian Mingle, even if I don't want to date them. Like, hey, I need partners for Bible study. Christian Mingle.
Yes. You're right.
Why are you trying to find so many more fat women when your Discord was already booming at this point?
I don't... Who told you I'm trying to find women? Where's that coming from?
For you to be on the Phoebe site, right? You're saying you're trying to make connections, make friends on there.
I just had a profile. I wasn't actively like reaching out, like, Like, I had a bunch of people, and like, Audrey can tell you all about this. Like, Phoebe is actually kind of fun to browse and see people's posts, and and just follow people and just see like, hey, who are you? Where are you from? Like, what's your background? It's a social network after all. But it has deteriorated over the last couple of years pretty much into a platform where a lot of women go on there and milk guys for money and call themselves online feedies, and they just want people to send them money for food. And again, consenting adults. If somebody wants to send them money, then by all means, be my guest. Do it. I never did.
So Phoebe is a social media site and not a dating site?
Well,
it's like both.
It's a social network, yes.
Like it's
like Facebook.
Yeah,
it's like Facebook. You can send a friend request.
I pulled up the description for their website. At the top, it does say, we're here. We support the feederism culture. We're on the side of being able to do this. If you want to engage with this. But
I do wonder what women showed up with a fetish and the women that showed up that didn't. that saw the house as body positivity. Another thing that muddies the body positive house, because how he ran it. Yeah, I mean, there does seem to have been a shift between how he used to label it and how he's labeling it now. Obviously he is more careful about things now, but I still don't know if it's enough.
They also have little like subcategories that are talking about their own site, and they said if you're just looking to make friends and you want to be part of this community, or you're a bigger person and you feel like you want to make connections online, you can use this website. So it is, they kind of leave leeway for you to take it both ways. There is a claim, again, I've said this before, Stefan, there's some women that want to have these points heard, but they don't feel confident enough to be on camera.
You bring it.
One of the points made, and this may be a little touchy, we'll see how this goes. Has there ever been any monetary transaction for men to be at Pearadise? Any money exchange for their presence, or have you witnessed money exchange for other things? And maybe that second part of the question is not something you want to answer, or I can't answer, I don't know. But how does that look?
Okay, let me give you the full truth on this, right? There has been times when we ran public parties, like, a big Easter party, or like, Mardi Gras party, whatever. It was officially, openly, publicly announced on Facebook, and there was a $20 door fee or $10 or whatever, right? So people paid to get in the door, ID checked, 21 plus, bring your own booze, bring your own weed, right? And anything other than that, like when it comes to like, if I take the question as, has there ever been a man that came to Pearadise and paid me to be here? No. Has there ever been a man that came into this house and paid one of the women money for anything? None of my business. I didn't ask. I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know. There was a time in the past, way back, 2020, before 2020, whatever, that I had a friend here, and she wanted to have a session, fetish session, not feeding, but like, squashing session, right? Like, we're going down a rabbit hole, right? Like, there's all sorts of like funny.
The squashing sessions do show up in the docuseries, so that's interesting that he's mentioned that.
Completely valid fetishes, right? And I had told her, like, if you want to have your session here at my house, be my guest, but please give me a cut, because there's cameras, there's security, like there's people here. If anything goes sideways, you're not in a skeevy hotel, so it would only be fair, like if you make $300, so you maybe slide me a 50 or whatever, right? That didn't really happen. So there was like a little bit of a discussion about it, but like it was never like a common occurrence, or like, hey, guys, you can come to Pearadise and pay for any kind of service.
Okay, that's been a claim that I've heard from a couple people that have.
Okay, so in the docuseries there is a mention of the squash sessions, which is basically the men come and they lay down and they get squashed, right, by the bigger women. So there is mentions of there having been squash sessions at the Pearadise house. In the docuseries, they mentioned that he wanted a cut of it, but here he's saying that it was a more casual type deal where, you can use the premises, but yeah, drop me a 50 or something at some point. That's how he's expressing it. Yeah, but it might be how he is expressing it, how he is describing it, right? It might be one of the women who's making adult content, because there are several that do adult content in that house. And she asked for permission, and he said, yeah, it's fine.
They've claimed they've been there, and I've seen a lot of this from the fans that said, has there ever been some money exchanges? We did get a donation for $10. Tina No D says, these girls are food addicts. They all eat a ton of food. Why are we acting like they would have been dainty girls if they got away from him? Of course, they're going to overeat. Foxy, how do you feel about that? If you don't have a response, I got one. Because, look, Tina No D, you're not wrong, right? If you're a big girl, you're probably going to be a big girl if you mess with Stefan or if you don't meet Stefan, right? But making the association is going to add, I don't want to say a sense of responsibility, but a sense of like approval, right? It's not like Stefan's out here saying lose weight. It's not like he has to tell women to lose weight. He doesn't have that responsibility on him, but they are going to judge him for it, and that's more of like a social media thing, right? You being there, you having those people do those things is going to cause people to associate you as being willing or supportive of it, right? Even if you're just taking the neutral stance.
I agree. It's the same with an alcoholic. Like if an alcoholic can't get alcohol from you or at your house, they can literally just go down the street and do what they want to do.
Yeah. By the way,
and that has actually happened too. That has happened.
Right.
That like people were here and then they got food wherever, like because everybody's grown adults. And I also have to say, I know as a somewhat standard size guy, being so much into like plus size women, very plus size, like Audrey size or whatever. Obviously,
Excuse you.
Hey,
I'm tiny.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna always get me hate and get me judged, right? But at the end of the day, what I feel like people need to realize and still remember in all of this, as long as it's legal, as long as it's consenting adults, there's nothing wrong with it. You can judge, you can feel a certain way about it, but it shouldn't turn into this whole like stone throwing campaign just because of that.
Go ahead, Audrey.
I just have something to say because I feel like the way it is portrayed, like with Paula, like she's in the corn industry. She works with girls that are feeders. She makes videos with girls who do feeding videos. She promotes that. With Piggy, she has done porn videos with she supports CNC, which is whatever you're into. But if you want to look at it in the lens that they're looking at Stefan, wouldn't making CNC videos be promoting SA that like the men who watch those videos actually get off by the idea of R-wording someone?
No, I'm sorry. That has to be completely separated. That's not a fair comparison to do. Just because Piggy has her own like adult content or has done in the past, or she has a kink, the you know, consent to not consent sort of situation, that is her own private life, and that has nothing to do with her defending women that have gone through SA. I don't think the fact that she has done adult content of that nature does not make it, that does not diminish any of the work that she does to defend women that have gone through SA. Making that comparison makes you the biggest idiot in the world, and you should leave this panel. That makes absolutely no sense, and that's a very unfair comparison to do.
Some people are watching them because they just like the idea of the consent to non-consent, but some people are watching those videos because they actually want to do that to someone. So Piggy makes videos where she literally is doing those actions, and I don't judge her for that. Do whatever you want, but how are you going to look at Stefan for being a guy who likes big women, who has, yeah, he likes big women. We're big when we walk into the door. We make ourselves bigger while we're here. When I got here, I was smaller. I got in a relationship where I was abused and fed because he thought I was too pretty small, that he was insecure about me being so pretty compared to him. He was really big. So he fed me, and I didn't realize because I was in love, and I gained 200 pounds in a year and a half. That's not, Stefan had nothing to do with that.
Okay,
And then I came back.
You didn't use a name. You said he. We thought you were talking about Stefan. You're saying it's someone else, a different boyfriend.
No, my ex. I'm saying, and then I came to the house big, and then now people are gonna look at Stefan because I'm big. When I met him, I was smaller, and right when I got into the house, I told him, I'm like, I need to lose this weight. He was completely for it. He was like.
But to be fair, you know, having kinks are all about like, it's kind of like against the status quo. For someone to be like, oh, well, I'm in the consent non-consent community, and I think the feeder community is gross. That's fair, right?
Yeah.
I hate feet, dude. Don't show me a fucking toe. All right, I'm not here to fucking. I don't want anything to do with it. That was for stepping and stomping, not for squishing. Anyways, so yeah, she can have that opinion. And it doesn't have to like really weigh on her opinion, right? If someone's into sex work, they can still criticize other sex work. Foxy, you've been in sex work before, right?
Yes.
There are some versions of sex work that you would say you wouldn't do or you think are probably bad, right?
Yes, absolutely.
There's been some things I've been learning on the internet since joining the Lolcow universe that people are kind of freaks. They be doing some crazy shit, like with diapers. And I'm like, look, you know what? To each their own, but not for me. And I'll call that gross if I see it in my fucking feed on Twitter. Okay.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things that, you know, is involved in different forms of sex work that some people find okay and other people don't, you know, and there's a lot of those things that I will not participate in because they don't align with what I think should be promoted or enjoyed.
Yeah. And Stefan, I feel like you've been saying today that you don't identify as being part of the feeder culture. But my understanding is a ton of people, even by your definition, like the way that you describe how you interact with these women, they do consider you a feeder. Does that bother you that that's a label that gets placed on you?
Only because it's always put in a negative light. It's, everything that's been said about me, especially by the gang, is always in order to spin a negative narrative. Like people that are literally sitting on camera, stuffing their faces for content, are judging me and going out in public and saying, oh, Stefan. When I like that, feederism, just like many other kinks, has a wide spectrum, right? There can be an enjoyer, you know, like somebody that just likes to watch people eat, and there can be death feederism, like somebody the immobility fetish and all that kind of bullshit. Like that, I draw a line. Like, you know, when I sat on the couch here in January of 2024 with Cass, we cried actually as I told her, like, Cass, when you left my house 2 years prior, like 2 years. She left in 22 and she weighed a certain amount of weight. She came back 2 years later after living with a boyfriend that some people call a feeder. I'm not going to say anything about that. She weighed 200 pounds, almost 200 pounds, or 100 and some pounds more. And I looked at her and I told her, like, Cass, you are over the line. You are past that red line. Like, I want you to come back. Come back to this side, you know?
I was there when you said that, and I remember she wanted to have a relationship with him, like a sexual relationship, and Stefan wouldn't even sleep with her because of how worried he was about her. And there's been times that he didn't sleep with other girls because of the same thing. Like they look at him like he's this guy. It's like obviously he has this fetish, right? And yeah, it's not good to be fat, right? And the women know that, but it's like we can't help what we've done to ourselves. He can't help what he's into. But there's also a line in like a respect thing. Like he would never like go push it to the limit where it's really dangerous. Like he saw her not doing well and saw that, and even beforehand, like we were telling her way before she passed away, she wasn't listening to any of us. I was her really close friend. We were getting on best friend level when she passed away, and she was complaining that he didn't want to have sex with her, and he decided on his own. He said, I don't want to, like, I can't, I just can't promote this and let her think that I'm like okay with her being like that. We wouldn't do that if he had like no soul or this, like, it's just crazy. That's why I'm saying I've seen it all, and that's another example of it.
So I literally just
Real quick, I want to go back to the.
I mean, to be fair, these this type of model is usually cheaper than the very dynamic, very lots of movement kind of model, right? This is called a PNG tuber, sometimes called a GIF tuber. So like the movement is a lot more limited, the tracking is limited. So they're generally a lot cheaper.
the question about being paid to be there, there's someone in chat called Hello Nikki, and they're saying we asked not to be on his stream, and he kept putting my ex on cam to show men are there other than him. And she also makes a claim that he charged my ex and advertised him like a prize.
What?
Prize.
Receipts, please.
Well, do we know who Hello Nikki is? Is that a person that you recognize, Stefan?
I'm not really sure, but like I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's like the she was either a tattoo or piercing person or whatever that came here and used my house to do her work, like to pierce, like to come over here and sell people piercings or whatever. And yes, I mean, I do agree. There was a time when I was heavily getting attacked on social media for only having women here. So every time a man came to the house,
It feels like a hybrid, right? I did have some extra features on this one. So it did run me several hundreds of dollars. But it doesn't have to be that expensive.
Sure. Did he make you come?
You missed the demon eyes. That's a good
I didn't
point.
think so.
That's a good point. Hey, El Diablo. Thank you so much for the 2 months of support. I appreciate you.
I was like, yeah, we do have men here, but the men are usually pretty shy because they don't want the backlash, they don't want all the judging, they don't want all the bullshit. So there might have been a situation or two where I, like, you know, accidentally put the camera in somebody's face or like on somebody, or went over and said like, hey, say hi to the viewers or whatever, and you know, wasn't really aware that person wasn't okay with it. Then eventually, like, you know, we ended up figuring out like a situation where like I told the whole room, like if there was people here, I said like, hey guys, I'm gonna go live. If anybody doesn't want to be on camera, please go wherever, like, you know, the outside area, or like if I was outside and I told them to go inside, to have like a little separation in things.
Yeah.
And then there's been people here that said like, you know, what the fuck? You're coming to Stefan's house, you're coming to Pearadise from the TikTok live stream. Why wouldn't you want to be on camera? You came here because of it. Why are you being so snippish right now? Like, show your face on camera. Like, you know, don't hide away right now. Like, you know, don't pretend like you're not here. So, okay, I might have put a camera in some guy's face, but I did not ever charge anybody anything. And if that was the case, please, receipts. Okay. You know, there has to be something, right? A Cash App or like a Venmo or whatever, because I never took cash from anybody. And
I want to point out, Foxy, you look fucking pissed. You look upset as shit.
My fucking eyes are just glazing over at this point, right? Because I feel like we're just talking in circles.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere.
Make a point.
He needs to show the proof. He needs to show the text. I don't know why you haven't showed all the text messages yet. Like everything. That's what we need to show.
Yeah, we can get to that. Foxy, there's been a lot said so far today. A lot of yapping, some might say, if they're Gen Z, you know, yappers. What is something that you've heard that you don't believe Stefan on?
I don't believe I seriously don't believe the cast situation, right? Because like you came out and said it, that it was that phone call that triggered the entire incident, but you had us believing in the very beginning that it was all Kimmy's fucking harassment that led her to do this. And like, that makes me fucking pissed off. And so now, of course, I understand.
This is really old because we've been going through this pretty slow. There have been a lot of things happening since then. But I think it's interesting to make sure to go through all these interviews because it is like a lot of very big characters in this Pearadise thing. What's interesting now is that the docuseries came out yesterday. So we do have that perspective already. We already know what's out on the docuseries. I am missing one episode. There's only 3 out there of 40 minutes each. So it's really, I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's on HBO Max. So we do have that perspective now from the docuseries. But yeah, Lolcow Bus actually did manage to get a lot of the main characters on the shows and interviewing them. So for us, it's very interesting to see all of their different perspectives. So the docuseries is called Big Girls Wanted Escaping Pearadise. So it is about the Pearadise house that Stefan has, this guy at the bottom left, that has a house full of big girls and keeps inviting them and calling it a body positive space, and then ends up having like orgies in the pool and stuff like that. So yeah, the docuseries goes over what they do at the house, but also like a lot of sexual assault allegations that have been made throughout the years from many different girls that have been in the house. So yeah, it's very interesting.
And why Paula feels the way that she does, why she is so pissed off, because you're going around blaming somebody else, right? I'm not saying that it's your fault, Stefan, but you're trying to demonize somebody else for something that they had nothing to fucking do with.
No, it's not an LCU host. They basically in Lolcow Bus, so that is Foxy, Fupa, and Tech. They did a whole 2 weeks, so maybe even 3 weeks of talking about the Pearadise house and inviting people up to talk about it and doing like interviews and stuff. But they're not a host.
That's a completely false statement. Like to say that she had nothing to do. No. You cannot say Piggy had nothing to do with it. That's unfair.
Yes, I can. I can absolutely fucking say that. Where are the receipts, Stefan? Where are the receipts of Kimmy sending her saying, go off, go unalive? Or do you have those receipts of her telling Cass to do that?
No, of course nobody did. Like
exactly. So where the fuck are the receipts, right? You keep asking for them, but you don't have receipts proving that fucking Kimmy did that either. But you can make these claims about her.
I have receipts. I have receipts of the massive abuse that like came from Piggy. I have it right here.
But do you understand? I'm talking about this one specific situation. I feel like we keep getting.
Yeah, the guy in the glasses, but they both wear glasses. So it's the guy here that has a t-shirt with the pink that says "I like big girls." That's the guy with the Pearadise logo in the back. That's him. That's Stefan.
Led away from it, right? It feels like we're just talking in circles, talking in circles, talking in circles.
Yes, because you don't want to agree. If you take a boat or a canoe and put it on the lake, right? And somebody dumps bucket after bucket after bucket of water in it until it's almost sunk, and then I dump a couple of buckets of water in it, and then it sinks. Is it all my fault? Is none of it fucking Piggy's fault for
Yeah, but
attacking her?
you're the one who said Kimmy drove her to do that. You said that.
He literally said that Pearadise, and he said he blamed himself for part of it, but he can't blame all of himself. Piggy was the main root of it too. Like you're, and I understand why you're defending.
Actually, ALR seems to be interested in Stefan and in going to the house. I'm not sure that's happened yet, but there has been talk of that before. Again, ALR is trying to insert herself in situations, right? Because she is, she has to make her money somehow, and she's failing on all the platforms that she's tried. I think she is currently on TikTok. We will be doing an episode soon where we go over her journey on TikTok so far. Thankfully, there are people that are recording that because unfortunately with TikTok, there's no VODs, right? So you can't go back and check old live streams, but there are people that are recording it. No, there's no, ALR is not in the panel. So this lady over here, I think she's called Audrey, I'm not sure. She is also on panel to defend Stefan.
These women because they're women in the way. That's why I haven't fallen for. I would have been exactly like you if I was in your position. But because I'm sitting here and I've seen it all, I'm not where you are. Why are they not coming up on camera? Why is it just me and Stefan? Why are they not giving proof? Why are they not giving you anything?
Audrey, you were 18 when you entered that house, right?
Yes, I was 18 and I met him again until I was 23 or something, or 22. I was in a relationship the whole time.
So how old are you now?
24. So maybe I met him again when I was 22. Because I've been around for like 2, but I've been around and in contact with Cass and everyone else the entire time. Even if I wasn't in the house, I was getting FaceTime calls of her crying to me, and I was there the whole time. So there's parts that I can't speak on, but there's a lot of it that I can.
So
all these poor fat ladies, man, being called ALR is crazy.
I don't know. It just
Can I just say my stance on it? I feel like you can't blame anyone for what she did.
Yeah.
She was a grown adult, and if she was that mentally in that mental state, it was her responsibility, no one else's, to seek out mental help.
yes.
And why did she stay there? She stayed there because she loves Stefan. She didn't do this and then leave the house. She did it because of the pushing that these women did. And I'm not saying they fully attacked her directly all the time. It was because Cass knew exactly what happened. She was there. She knew their intentions coming into the house. They knew why they were coming there. And she was involved. They came there to hook up with her. She was just as confused, and her as Stefan, because these women are saying these things about her and about the man that she loves, knowing that all they did was open their house to have a safe, fun, sexual maybe experience. But then they came and they had one little incident that is they've blown up to this thing that you cannot take back. And that is why they won't put their face on camera. That's why they won't show you proof. Because Stefan has proof out of the freaking, like, everything he has is proof. I've seen video footage, I've heard conversations, I've seen it all, and these women are like, I don't want to get bullied. What do you mean? You're on live.
So I'd also like to mention that both sides, both Stefan and Piggy, which is I think she's called Kimmy, which is the TikToker that has brought all these survivors or victims together from the Pearadise house to talk against Stefan. So that is Piggy, and then there's Stefan. Those are the two sides of the story, right? And both sides have a lot of evidence, as they call it, against each other. So you can go to Stefan's website, pearadise.net, I believe, and you can check all the evidence over there. And then there's also Piggy's TikTok, which you can go back years and years and years. There are several videos on this topic where she puts everything out there from the victim side.
For 24 hours talking about this situation, but you don't want to come on here.
And this is something that we might go through as well, because obviously the docuseries is only 3 episodes of 40 minutes each, so that doesn't cover everything. And then there's also Lolcow Bus, which not everyone is comfortable going up there and speaking their truth. So all these things are the interviews that we're going through right now are extremely limited in terms of the perspective that we get to hear. So we will be hopefully going through that evidence ourselves and making up our own minds.
You're going to go on a documentary, but you don't want to come on here. What does that mean? Because you know he's going to show the stuff, and then what are you going to say to that? What are you going to say to the proof?
Well, there's
you
no
can't say
women that
anything.
don't want to be on the documentary and don't want to be on here, and they don't want to be online anymore because they have received the harassment that you would expect being associated with this thing, right? It's not fair to say like, well, why don't you come talk to us? They don't want to talk to anybody, but they do want to have their voices heard, and that's fair. Coming from a marginalized community, you should probably recognize there was probably a moment in your life where you were not confident about being a big girl, where shit dragged you the fuck down, where you were getting harassed for existing, just being alive, for breathing. People fucking harassed you. Now imagine that you are a big girl online, and you have an association to Stefan, who we can honestly say there's some deranged people that fucking hate this man, like they fucking despise this man, and they will despise anyone associated to this man. So if they come up onto a fucking live stream called Lolcow Bus and say, oh, well, I felt like this with Stefan, they still might hate this bitch even if they don't like Stefan. You can be an anti-Stefan fucking person and still get hate from people that hate Stefan as well. It seems like such a fucking crazy place to put like some level of like, well, why didn't you come up here? And honestly, Audrey, I don't fucking agree.
No, that's what I'm saying, because also the girls that came to talk, that were in the house that talked about Stefan, they said, yeah, because Stefan has done stuff
Stefan
wrong.
likes the ALR builds. What can he say? He absolutely does.
Themselves, they never felt uncomfortable. Stefan never made me feel this way. If they hated Stefan and are not liking them, like Jordan came hot on here, showing that she's not a fan of Stefan anymore. She still said he never did those things, and she was around during that time. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm talking about just the claims of what they're saying he did. It's like, even the girls are saying that. Even the girls that are not friends with him anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. So I'm not saying that, like, of course, but it's like, why are they gonna be on live and be everywhere else and be on the documentary? And I'm talking mainly about Pow and Piggy and all that.
I'm not sure ALR would be Stefan's dream girl, because it's not all about having a bigger body. I'm guessing he also cares about personality, and ALR does not have the easiest personality to deal with, especially when it comes to sharing, right? And he is poly, so I don't know about that, man.
People that are involved that don't want to be on the limelight, I respect that. I'm saying the people that are already on the line, like your whole entire face is splattered all over the documentary. Why can't you be on here with a couple thousand viewers? Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, what's the difference? You know what I mean? But if
there is a major difference between going on a documentary on, with professional journalists or whatever, and going on a panel in Lolcow Bus where everything is being made fun of. I'm sorry, but there's entirely different.
Someone has not been on camera, I respect that. Stay off camera. You can say what you want. I respect that.
Oh yeah, Omegon did do a video. I think there's several people who have been recording or at least keeping track of ALR, so we're definitely going to go through that soon.
Are like a pretty fucking bitch to fucking deal with, to be honest. And Stefan knows.
I'm just really interested in the Pearadise stuff because of the docuseries having just dropped yesterday. There's going to be a lot of people that are off NDA at the moment and want to speak their truth, so it's a very interesting time right now to discuss Pearadise, but we're gonna get to that. And also, we still have the DSP rabbit hole to go down, so there's like a lot of content ahead of us.
He makes motherfuckers sign them, okay? Like, he knows the power of an NDA. So if there's women that are part of the documentary and they feel like, man, do I really want to maybe accidentally say something that gets me fucking in legal trouble? Probably not, right? There's probably like a difference there, right? I can see where Stefan, who is probably legally trained, he probably has a decent understanding of how fuck you can get from breaking an NDA with a big corporation. He's gonna be very specific in what he says, right? He's not gonna break an NDA, right? Stefan, you signed an NDA with ID?
Of course, we released. Yeah, we all did. Yeah.
And
that's why we're not speaking about the show.
Are you gonna break it? No, right?
No,
fuck no.
I'm not gonna sign up. I'm not gonna sign up with any other production company before the contract expires, which is going to be in 7 days. But like, it doesn't matter. Like, it has nothing to do with it. They came to my house, presenting this and shopping this to me as a positive. Like, we did all good stuff. We did all the good stuff here. Like, we didn't even.
Do you think there's anything that could possibly come out that you're worried about?
No, absolutely not. Because I've proven. Sorry for interrupting.
You're good. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I have the two craziest claims. People always try to criminalize it, right? Claims of our word. For both of those claims, I have massive evidence that would immediately disqualify like any claim brought forward in court, right? So I'm not worried. And then all the bullshit stuff, like all this, like sex crime language, like grooming, underage, all this bullshit. Nothing happened. I admitted that way back in the day, I talked to a 17-year-old on my Discord in order to have a communication, hype them up inappropriately, which I realized months before this bullshit came out. I already had changed my behavior. I already had locked down the Discord. I learned my stuff early on before this stuff happened. So nobody.
Oh, guys, he realized that's almost a 50-year-old man that he should not be hyping up and having personal conversations with minors. He realized that as an almost 50-year-old man. Let's all clap and celebrate the fact that he's finally learned that lesson.
Can come to me and say like, oh, you did anything inappropriate with a minor. There was an incident in the Discord that taught me very quickly, completely hands off, no more communication.
At RabbitWee2HK super chatted $20. They feel brave enough to be heard on platforms where they're not challenged. Harassment is just a dog whistle for being afraid of true investigation and interrogation. Someone call Nancy Drew.
Someone call Nancy Drew.
I don't believe that at all. I think they're choosing to stay on their platforms because they're having conversations with people that they know, okay? They don't know our audience. They don't know tech. They don't know FUPA, okay? Even though these girls know who I am and might trust me, they might not trust you. They might not trust that Keem's going to hop up here and be like, oh, you guys went to the fat farm? Like, it's pretty fucking understandable why somebody might not want to be up here.
Yeah, I agree.
At Samantha Goodlad 1769 super chatted $19.99. So Foxy, if there's proof Piggy verbally bullied this girl, you're not going to say she should hold any responsibility in hurting this girl's mental health.
No, I'm saying that. I'm saying, okay, what I'm saying is Stefan said that Kimmy drove her to do this. That is not fair to say at all, to put the entire blame on one person. I am countering that, okay, with saying that, hey, you also had something to do with it, so we cannot put all the blame on one fucking person. Can we agree with that at least?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So then why the fuck are we doing it?
I have to tell you guys really quick, all three of you. From the moment that Keem came in my chat on TikTok and he said, hey, I have this, I had no idea about LCU. I went down a rabbit hole, right? And he said, like, oh, you want to come on my show? Absolutely. Come on, challenge me. I'm not hiding. That's why, Audrey's absolutely right. Pao and these girls are on their own platform because that's where they can silence me. That's where things happen like last night. The moment I get a chance to speak, I talk for 5 seconds and then
I'm sorry, but the simple fact that they don't want to be on a panel with you because you discuss them or because you have done something to them is perfectly understandable. We cannot be comparing that. They're going to want to be somewhere where they're safe and understood, and that is not with anywhere near you. And that's perfectly understandable. I've had people in my past that have done certain things, and I don't want to be anywhere near them. Even if I am comfortable telling my story, it doesn't mean I have to face those people anymore in my life.
I don't get a word out. And like there's profanity and there is like no communication discipline or whatsoever. Keem has shown me nothing but respect. Fupa, I know your opinion behind scenes or whatever. You've shown me nothing but respect. You guys let me talk. Tech has been very like facts-based. This is a place to discuss it. Like, I am not afraid to talk to Piggy or
This is not the place to discuss it. And I'm glad they did this because I'm not sure any other channel has done it. But this is not necessarily the most safe and environment for people. I'm sorry. I'm glad you feel safe to talk your truth, but that's not going to be the case with everyone, and you have to respect that.
Or any of them women.
By the way, people get very upset that you call her Piggy because her name is Kimmy, and she's like, I don't go by that name anymore. I don't know. I don't care.
She marketed herself as Piggy Stardust. The woman that's gonna be responsible for Stefan's death. She wanted to take the crown.
She hasn't gone by that in like 2 years.
I know after the whole thing was over, like, once the lawsuit failed or whatever, and she had made her 32,000 followers on my back, with the story, with this campaign, she finally lost her account. Actually, I didn't even, I had no idea. Like, somebody eventually told me, like, her fucking account got taken down. I had nothing to do with it. But thank you to the people with the working noggin. And she changed her name.
I would like to possibly pivot if we can. I really want to get to the bottom of the CC incident. That's like my biggest thing. And I know you have like a video showing the text messages. Would you be willing to show that on online?
He can't show it until Tech comes back because Tech has to be able to.
He has to click. The question is, I sent you guys the video. It's in the docket thing. So should I screen share it or is he going to screen share it?
We'll ask him when he comes back. It's probably better if you do it so that we can read along because when he does it, we can't see it. Only the chat can see it.
Okay.
I'm gonna step out, but I was asking. I can come back if someone says something about me. But I just want to say one last thing before I go because I have some stuff I need to do. But Jordan and Peachy, the girls that were in the house, we all had a great friendship, and it was like a family here. I respect all the girls for feeling how they feel about whatever situation. I think someone's allowed to respond about certain things how they want. But there's certain levels that I'm not okay with, like how Jordan and they did it. Like they're allowed to feel how they feel. They still even said the truth about how they never felt uncomfortable. Stefan never did anything to them. They never saw anything. None of these behaviors happened. But yeah, Stefan responded in a way that I don't like. Therefore, I don't want to be his friend anymore. Valid. Okay. These other girls, Stefan also did a couple things that were not okay. Same Foxy, you said you had a thing with him holding your hips. Yes, not okay. He has learned that, and now that even little flirty things like that are not okay, nothing is okay without someone telling you this is okay, right? He has completely learned that. What I'm fighting for is mainly like the proof that I've seen, knowing who he is. I've seen it through the entire thing. As a woman, I know that I couldn't support a man that these claims are happening unless I knew everything, right? And all the facts, and I've seen it all. So just look at me as a woman, right? Before I'm not his cheerleader. I'm a woman first, and I will believe a woman. If something came out, I would, and then it was clear as day, I wouldn't be friends with Stefan. But all these cases, I've seen the facts, and that is why I stand by him. Not because it's Stefan, not because he doesn't give me anything. That's what I love about me and Stefan's relationship. He's never owed me anything, and I never owed him anything. It's been a friendship, and he's the reason that I'm able to be who I am now. He has given me confidence and a place to stay when I needed it, and it's never been any type of like interaction like where I owe him something. So I thank him for that, and I just hope everyone can find peace for this situation. It's all so ridiculous at how big it's gotten, and I hope after the documentary comes out, everyone sees all the information, the side, and the love that we had for this place, because that's what we filmed it for, and I hope that they see that.
Yep.
And I just wish everyone the best.
What are we sharing here?
We're going into the CC.
I'll be right back.
We are going into the CC conversation.
Okay.
It is exactly the video I showed the other day on VC, right? You want me to show the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why are there so many women who get in your hot tub and end up sexually assaulted? You will like, you will comment, you will share, you will blow those things up to the high heaven like you did for every woman before.
Well, look who it is. Hello, Piggy. Congratulations on recruiting another story for your clicks and likes and campaign called SA for Entertainment. Too bad that you turned off Stitch this time, so I'm gonna have to do it manually.
There will be screenshots, and if you're not putting up those screenshots, then all you have is hearsay.
This is actually a pretty sad and dark chapter in my past, and I really didn't want to have to revisit it, but thank God for technology and my personal data retention policies, because of that, I actually have no screenshots, but much better, I have the original chat on my Mac in my iMessages still there, and here's my case, because people are trying to turn TikTok and social media into a courtroom. If anything really would have happened, I would be happy to show this in an actual courtroom. But this is for views and clicks, so let me make my case. So for those that are being dragged into this right now and don't know what's going on, Cici, aka Cipriana, is my current baby mama, and an individual that I met on a hookup website on January 8th of 2019. And the actual story is so much longer and so much deeper, and it would blow the limits of this video left and right. So all I'm gonna say is that by May of 2020, she turned into my baby mama against my will, and now she is on TikTok claiming
She turned into my baby mama against my will. Excuse me, do you want to say that again, sir?
that I SA'd her, supported by our beloved Piggy, who loves SA stories or exaggerating stories into SA. So let's pull out the screenshots from that time frame. All right, so
let's pause
here we
real
have
quick,
on
Stefan.
June 16th of...
Yep. Okay. Should I mute while I play it?
That'd be better, but also we have a guest who came up. I don't know if you recognize them.
Sure.
Meow.
Okay.
Hello. Welcome in. Would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Hello, I am Pao, or Paola, or Big Cherry, or whatever the hell you want to call me. I have many names. Yeah, I'm the person that they were just talking about, how they want to invalidate what I'm saying just because I'm not up here on this live specifically, even though I've been talking about this since 2022 or something. That's me.
I'm happy to have you on stream. We've welcomed you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, I did Audrey leave already?
She just stepped away.
Okay, great, awesome. Because at the end of the day, it's like it always is another woman talking for Stefan all the time, louder than everybody, and like always talking about things that she doesn't even know about. And he can speak for himself. He's here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it? Let's go.
Sorry, we got a donation and a place of
You're
music.
good, you're good. I'm okay, okay.
Corinna G super chatted $23.46. Stefan is a fee eater.
Way to derail the evidence talk.
Stefan, I don't know if you
by the way, I was going to ask something real quick. I'm so sorry. I just forgot to ask him this. Stefan, was this about you in 2006 being on feederism forums, talking about fantasies that you have and all that and making all these posts? There's screenshots about it, by the way. So you claim to not be one, you claim to just be in Phoebe to find friends. But what about the novels that you wrote about that kind of thing and those fantasies? So what is that then?
I mean, everybody goes through steps, you know, you grow up, you go through things, you find all the niches. Like, you know, I was actually it was pretty cool when I first found, like, on the internet, like, Fantasy Feeder is a website that I found, and
Stefan, real quick, it's hard to hear you. Do you know how to turn your gain down a little bit?
Gain down.
If you don't know,
loud?
It's a little loud.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
It's better now. It's picking up a lot of static, but it's better.
All right.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Dimensions Magazine. I don't know if anybody here is old enough to remember Dimensions Magazine. Yeah, there was some really cool. There were some really cool websites in the beginning that introduced me to all of this. And
so you just went back. So you found feederism, and instead of like being on it and like what we see visually that you're actually doing and practicing, and you're making it so mainstream that people are not even noticing that they're participating on it, and you're not getting consent from people. You're trying to tell us that you went back, that you were just exploring, and then you stopped doing it, even though you're living it.
That's
what you're trying to tell people.
Whatever happens here is always with consent.
No, it's not. You don't talk to nobody about it unless it's a very close relationship and an actual like romantic relationship. Then you bring them into it, or if it's a very close friend and you think they're from the close knit that they have loyalty towards you, and then you tell them. Peachy yesterday was telling us about how you did let her in on the fact that you do in fact enjoy it.
Enjoy what? Enjoy what? Being with a big girl?
Feederism specifically.
No, not really. I mean, it doesn't get me sexually off.
Oh no, you don't have that. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's just post the screenshots later. I'll post them, and people will decide
I mean,
for themselves.
go ahead and post screenshots from 2006. You're trying to rob a house that I haven't lived in for 20 years. Go right ahead.
Okay, so Stefan is adamant to say that he does not get sexual satisfaction from feeding a girl. That is something that is important to keep in mind, because there might be some evidence against that. Hey, Andrea.
Okay.
Okay, so those are claims that he was doing this stuff 20 years ago, right? Is that about right?
Yeah.
Right, and it just shows that it's been going on. We've been talking about things that has been going on, and he just keeps denying. And there's a long track in history and patterns and a bunch of people that are telling you and testimonies and everything, and he just keeps denying it here.
I mean, you don't always have to violently exaggerate everything, right?
Girl, don't call me violent just because I'm a girl. No, don't do that.
Wait,
Okay,
is
yes,
English-
I am
is
passionate.
English
Yes,
your
I'm
first or
loud.
second
Yes,
language?
I am loud. I am very I have no problem with that, Stefan. Have
I know.
I ever been violent towards you?
Yeah.
Have I ever touched you?
No, not physically. I would have gone to
Okay,
the
then that
cops.
doesn't count, I guess, because you say that all the other things don't count unless it's very, very violent. So
No, you've been verbally
I haven't
abusive.
been violent towards you. Yeah.
Not violent, but like, you always have to violently exaggerate everything. So
Why should I respect you when you haven't respected me and my friends, when you haven't respected the memory of people that we cared about, when you haven't respected the privacy of people that have been in your house, when you don't respect nothing? You don't respect anything. You go on live and you just start spewing lies and you talk about people and you affect people's lives and you do things without consent. You do all these things and you don't respect and you respect it back. I'm sorry, but I am not that person. I will not respect you and I will not afford you being cordial towards you. I don't have to and I don't want to.
There's the one who goes on TikTok for hours every day talking shit and like airing out.
Literally haven't been on TikTok forever, Stefan, and you're the one that's on TikTok every single day talking shit. How dare you talk about me being on live when that's your fucking life? That's all you do.
I go on live to entertain people, to uplift people, to bring positive vibes to people. You go on live only to talk shit about me because that's all you do.
And it's my platform at the end of the day, but you cannot talk about me being on live when you literally do it every single day. You're literally on live right now with these people to start shit.
Not to start shit. No. Does your noggin actually work? I'm here to defend myself.
That's yours? Because you cannot call out somebody for being on live, somebody that literally barely does it, when you are doing it fucking constantly. I am sorry for cursing. I don't know if I can do that. But at the end of the day, you are constantly doing it. You're always talking about other people and what they do and complaining about them when you are constantly doing it. How about you shut up for a little? Because you know what? We wouldn't be in a documentary and we wouldn't be here if you would have shut up for a little bit before. Because how many times since 2022, we've been telling you, if you stop talking about us, if you stop talking about the girls, we will drop it. You left TikTok for a month and a half when Karen went after you. And we told you, if you stay gone or you stay shut the fuck down, we will be okay. You came back. We didn't come after you. We didn't do lives. We didn't say nothing for months and months and months until you started talking about the girls again. You started posting them. You started disrespecting people. So we came back and we will keep coming back until you stop.
I guess you were under the impression that you left the audience with your side of the story. And just like right now, the moment I start dropping evidence, everything always gets
No, that's not the case. I knew that you kept talking and you kept coming back and we actually didn't come back until you did something very bad.
It was the same with Aunt Karen. When I was on live with Aunt Karen, the moment I started showing proof, she disconnected me. So I never really actually get to show shit. You go
you have had a platform for years.
One second. Jess, what would you like to say?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, Jess.
Hey, Paula. Hey, Stefan.
Hey, long time no see.
Right? So just background. I visited Stefan's house back in like 2021. I was in the Discord, I was the mod, all that. So I've been here just on the outskirts of it. But really, I wanted to address what the previous woman, Aubrey, that was just on. Because I saw, so I did see a live when she was on here talking about the incident with Pork Chop or Alex, whatever she goes by. And I just want to say, I'm like, I've watched this story off and on for the last 5-6 years. And do I think Stefan's a monster? No. Is he a creep? Yeah, I do think that. And the whole time I've been on Pearadise, I've always told Stefan to his face, I don't agree with him being the center of body positivity in this whole thing. But the story for Pork Chop is, Stefan, when we were on, at least be honest with it. Like, you're not innocent. And I think it's a more gray area. I don't think the other side is completely innocent too. Like, you guys are both playing sides, but there's no accountability at all. So what made me mad to make me want to come speak up is what Audrey said yesterday about Pork Chop, how, and K-Bug, that how she was basically begging for it and bragging about sleeping with you. When and I'm telling the truth, you came to me, and I'm not gonna say her name because she doesn't want to be involved, but your other Discord mod, the main one I was with, and we had a conversation about what happened with Porky. We had that whole conversation, and I think you haven't taken accountability for that at all. You can admit your own wrongdoings and your own missteps, and at least be upfront about that. It wasn't just Porky that was begging you to do something. She was in a vulnerable state, and yes, at some point you did take advantage. People can get assaulted and still want to go after something to make sense of it in their mind. This person came to you already mentally ill, and I'm not saying that's your responsibility, but you set up a safe space for these women to come. And Porky was the one, I don't know about these other allegations, but coming from your mouth, you crossed the line with Porky. And having your friends come up and say that it was her that was thirsty after you is really disgusting. And I couldn't take that. And I had to come up and say that. Because you and me both know the truth on that.
You have to admit, though, that, Porky did go to K-Bug because she's an eyewitness. You can't deny that. Sure. Regret is an R word. It's completely valid.
but you cannot turn regret into the other R word. It's just not fair.
Regret?
Dude, you're so disgusting. You could have just acknowledged it and apologized. You're so fucking disgusting.
Pork chop absolutely did have regret. I had regret about it too. Fully
What was
aware
your regret?
that, like, she came here under the original pretense that she wanted to do Pearadise. She wanted to be a friend. She wanted, until she approached me. And at that point, I should have said to Pork Chop, I should have said, like, no, let's just stay friends. And I've done
Now,
that.
let me just ask you directly. Did you ever cross a line with Pork Chop? That
Cross
you
a
feel
line?
like you, even if it was intentional or not, did you ever feel like you crossed a line with Pork Chop?
No, not cross the line. I feel like I should have sat down with her and consoled her, whatever. Like, the thing is, well, like, she felt ugly. She felt like not wanted. She came to me and said, Stefan, don't you find me attractive enough? And then the thing is that the whole incident happened with a third party. Like, it wasn't just me and her.
So what was the dynamic of every person in that third party? What was Pork Chop's state of mind during that 3-party liaison that you had?
What do you mean her mindset? Like, she wanted
Her
to hook
mindset.
up.
What was her mindset? What was her state? What state was she in when that happened?
She felt like I don't know. She wanted to feel loved, or she wanted to feel appreciated, or she wanted to feel pretty. I don't know
Was
how
she
to say
under any
it.
substances? Was she drunk?
No.
Was she high?
Nope.
She was sober, completely sober?
Yeah, and my friend made sure of that, like, by asking 3 times.
Well, I gotta ask you.
Okay, it does sound to me that Porky might have been in a vulnerable mental state, and Stefan's way of handling that when she was vulnerable and feeling ugly and all that was having sex with her. And that is quite predatory. That is concerning for sure. Did he do that knowingly that he was taking advantage of a girl? I'm not sure. I'm not sure he was knowingly taking advantage. And that's an important distinction, right?
At RabbitWe2HK super chatted $20. Can we let Aiden up? Seems like they have insight and tea to spill, especially about Paula.
Because I've made regrets before. When I was feeling vulnerable or you know in a weaker mental state, and I've made mistakes. I don't go around. I don't afterwards blame, or I can't even blame the guy. I can even blame the guy for making a bad decision, for maybe even being manipulative in order to get what he wanted. But do I call that SA is the question.
Saying the hosts are ignoring his request to come up.
Which one's
No.
Aiden?
Okay.
If Aiden gets on, I'll get off because Aiden has been going back and forth so many times. He literally tested one of the girls the other day, trying to be like, "Oh, I'm here," and then posted support for Stefan. He's always done this. He just wants the attention. He has no integrity to me, and I just don't want to address him.
Phoebe is a site that you use. I can see
there's a lot
that.
of conversations to still be heard, right? And maybe it's not going to be the best place to have. It seems like instigation from Stefan. I'm sorry, Stefan. You know, but you make women that don't like you very upset. And I don't want them to be misguided with like anger when they're trying to tell their story. So, Paula, would you be willing to have a smaller conversation on Monday without Stefan, where you could just express yourself, or anyone really? If you've been watching the streams and you've been involved in this in any way, and you feel like you do want to say something, but you don't want Stefan to try and push it down or change your mind on this, would you like to come up? Just reach out to me on the Discord. I don't know who this Aiden guy is, but is he? You said he just lies about you, Paula? Is that right?
No, he lies about everything, honestly. This is the thing. Aiden has an issue with me because when I came into the house, I already was warned about how dramatic he is. So I kept my distance. And that's why he thinks that I have something against him. And I've told him plenty of times that it's like because I already knew about the drama. However, Stefan can tell you, maybe you can tell them about the group meeting that you had and how you had Heather handle Aiden so he couldn't come out and talk about the issues that he had with the house and all that stuff. I know that he's gone back to your side to be cool with you and everything, but maybe you can talk about the meeting that you set up and ask Heather to handle him, basically, because that's what happened all the time in the house. Like, there were these weird house meetings to deal with the behavior of people all the time. And for me, that was like weird behavior.
Can I actually interject really quick? The conversation that we were having earlier that got brought up last night on the TikTok live stream that we were all on, right, was about Cass and the situation that led to that. And it's just like, it seems like there's not agreeing on these stories of what's happening here.
Yeah.
And you had said that you were on FaceTime with Stefan the entire time while it was happening, and he didn't really answer you.
No, it was okay. So what happened with all this is that 2 days before, I noticed that my friend was in a very bad mental health state. I'm all the way in New York. I'm not physically there. And I was on FaceTime with her, but he's in the office. Because let me add this. When Cass and I were having conversations about her relationship and what she was going through, when she would call me through panic attacks and everything, and I was trying to comfort my friend, he would be there listening. He would be like hovering over or eavesdropping and trying to see what I was saying. And this is confirmed by Peachy, by the way, Stefan. Peachy did tell me that you did, in fact. And let's add to it the fact that whenever he would hear things that he didn't like that I was telling her, he would actually interfere. He multiple times he got in the middle of it, stopped our conversations. He hung up on me at one point and told Cass talk to Peachy instead because he didn't like the advice that I was giving her as a friend that was looking out for her. So 2 days before, I see that her mental health is really bad, and I told him, you need to stop pushing her. You need to stop bringing up these topics. You need to stop really pushing her because I see that something bad is going to happen.
But pushing her how?
Well, he would start conversations about the fact that he had another girl, Angel, and he would try to make Cass agree to be okay with Angel's presence in the house when she would come. There was going to be a visit that was going to happen, that Angel was going to come, and it was Cass's birthday. And Cass didn't want to have somebody that she had animosity with on her birthday. And he kept insisting that it kind of had to happen because he, I guess, needed to make other people happy instead. So it got to the point where it became this big issue. The sometime coming before that event, there was also going to be another birthday joined with Cass's. It was a whole thing. But the reality is that he never sticked up for his partner that wanted to have a special day with her friends in the house and with him. Yeah, he never did.
And for those who don't know, Angel was his next girlfriend, right?
Well, same time girlfriend, but yes.
Okay.
For that same night that Cass committed or tried to commit, wasn't that the night that you weren't even at the house and then you came over? I think Stefan was on live and he had to let you in and had to go upstairs because he was downstairs and didn't go up and check on her. Was that the same night? Didn't you have to come over and come upstairs? It's like
No. I was still in New York because I was gonna come to Vegas to get her out of the house and all that, but I was still in New York when all this happened. The problem was that 2 days before, I'm already warning Stefan, and I had a very heartfelt conversation with her, or what I thought it was, where I begged him to please not put more mental stress on her because I could see that she was at a breaking point, and I begged him to please stop putting this conversation. Okay.
That is definitely concerning. If there was another person that was warning Stefan that Cass wasn't doing very well, and that was apparently 2 days before she did something to herself, that is concerning.
Or one super chatted $19.99. Stephen Lele pants on fire. Eyes emoji. Eyes emoji. We have notes from the other night. Don't make us drop them. Grabsha.
I don't know what that. What's that last word mean? Oh, that's German, right, Stefan? Grab, sure.
Yeah, it's just like I don't grab her. It means something like that.
Oh, okay.
All right, well, I just came up for the porky thing. So
thank you, Jess.
Thank you. Bye.
Anyways, that conversation happened where I told him, please don't stop, don't keep pushing. And then 2 days later, this happens. I was in talking to her and everything. But when I got her text and all that, I immediately tried to talk to Stefan and was like, hey, can you check on her? He did not answer to me because he did get also a message and he was checking on her and they were dealing with this already. But I did call K-Bug because again, it's the only other person in the house. And I was with K-Bug, and as soon as the emergency is happening, because I'm there in the call when the EMTs are there and all that stuff. Afterwards, I did talk to him and I told him, I told you this would happen. I told you. And I did tell him, yes, I do make you responsible because it really it's something. What is that? Can you speak, dude? Can you speak like a fucking adult?
I'm being harassed right now. Somebody's calling me threatening.
You harass people all the time. You send me text messages.
No, I don't.
You found out I was in a hospital because I had a fucking situation. You texted me and tell a bunch of things. Are you gonna leave now? Yeah, go ahead. But I hope that Audrey is happy that I'm here. I didn't want to be here because I didn't feel that it was a space for me to have this conversation about these things. Because I'm trying to be respectful towards somebody. I'm trying to be respectful towards somebody that is not here to speak for herself. And guess what? This was a conversation that she never wanted to be out in the open. She was living with me the first time that Stefan was on live and told everybody about it on his fucking live without her permission. And she told me how much she hated that he brings up things like that on live.
Okay, can I get something in before the show ends?
People's private
I have to say something before the show ends.
And then you just said, oh, it's because people keep asking where Cass is and what happened.
We only have
That's not for you to fucking tell. That's not your fucking story. And I'm only doing it because you keep bringing it up.
We do have 1 minute left.
Can I get something in?
Yeah, closing statements, yeah?
Yes. Pau and Avocado, Cass's best friends. What would you have expected your best friends to do when you come out of the hospital, after a fresh attempt, right? What did they do? They got her weed and booze and sex.
That was not fresh. It was the next month.
I know. The remedy.
And also, you wanted to kick her out of the house.
Yes, to come to the house and bring weed to her.
You wanted to bring her out of the house. Bye.
We're going to have to probably have a conversation maybe this weekend, maybe on Monday. Stefan, I'm sorry that it ran up right to the fucking edge of the clock. We'll talk soon. I'll DM me if you have anything you want to say.
No, I'm used to when I bring out the heavy evidence, really what Booba wanted to see.
This ended quite badly. There's a lot of questions unanswered.
I am used to that being sabotaged. It's over and over.
We have 15 seconds.
We're going to go over all of this tomorrow. Okay, the three of us, we're going to be going over
So they signed an NDA regarding the show, the docuseries, that they now are free from, by the way, because the docuseries came out yesterday. An NDA with Lolcow Bus? No, I highly doubt that.
All of this shit. Okay.
Right.
So don't act. I mean, it's not like it's not going to be seen. We're going to go over it. Okay. So I just want you guys to know that these are just like I wouldn't say the last of the interviews, but like the formal ones. The three of us are going to be going over everything tomorrow. Thank you so much to everybody who has come, showed up, and showed out every single day this week.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. We did finally end that week of interviews from Lolcow Bus, but apparently they went and did more of this stuff. So let me just check really quick what that looks like. So we are we're here, and they apparently keep talking about it for a long time. The only thing that I'm going to care about is if they have more people up that they talk to. Like, for example, it looks like 14 hours ago they had Stefan up on there again. It looks like maybe they had some other people on there. We'll see. We'll see. And apparently there was some talk about Tech and Fupa going to Pearadise. So we'll look into all of that. But at least now we were able to lock down that first week of interviews. It's going to probably be different sources from now on, because there's a lot that's going to be happening regarding Pearadise now that the docuseries is out. A lot of people are free from their NDAs. They can respond. They can further their story. They can go into detail about whatever they want now that the NDAs are over. So that's going to be an interesting time to check into this topic. That's going to be it for today, guys. I will be having a gaming stream in about 2 hours over on the gaming channel iVixey Plays over here on YouTube, also on Twitch. So I'll see you guys there for that. We are still ongoing with our donathon. I do have about 25 minutes on the timer. Let's see if that gets extended. Otherwise, today might be the last gaming stream from the donathon, at least. So I'll see you guys there. Thank you for watching. Let's see if we can go redirect towards someone. Let's see who's on. We have Zayzuded. Zayzuded has left the LCU, so that would be interesting to say hello. Have a good night, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.